We're live at the Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show. Let's get into it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. We're in the locker room. We got Doogs, Kev, Hoagie, myself. Week 1 of the PLL. We're going to tackle some big interviews and talk about the play this week. But, boys, how are we feeling? We made it up to New York. Doogs, it's good to see you.
Mitchell, yeah, there we go. Got those, yeah, you got the,
Yeah, Kev, how you doing? It's good to see you.
The new age. I'm still going, brother.
What do you want to say?
Your hair looks nice. You're
Yeah,
going to Albany,
normal.
3-hour drive up. Plane ride for you. Kev, how are you doing?
I'm doing
I'll
great.
take the reins from here, by the way, brother.
The 𝐓𝐇𝐄 shampoo looks good in that hair, man.
It does, it does. But I'm going to tell you guys one thing. All natural. No gel.
Do you believe it?
Hey, I used the Duke.
Comment below.
I used the Duke Cannon gel today.
And first off, I want to address something. Doogs is not going to do the punishment on this episode. We're going to do the hot wings back in New York City. Stay tuned for that. Friday happened yesterday. Kev, your biggest takeaway?
2 great games, first of all. First up was the Atlas and the Chaos game.
Yes.
Honestly, a weird game.
Yes.
Because everyone was on Atlas. If you look at our predictions, our pick 'em board, it was Atlas across the board. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Chaos stuck with it, and it was one of those games that I don't know if moral victories exist in the PLL, but I felt like it was more of a Chaos win than an Atlas win. I know literally wins and losses. Wins are wins, losses are losses. But I felt coming away from that like better about the Chaos than I thought I would.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you watch the game yesterday, opening 2 to 3 minutes of that game was 4-0 Atlas, and I was like, all right, this is rated R. They might have to take it off television. Like, it was not looking pretty. And then the Chaos just kind of fought the whole way. I'll tell you what, the Chaos might not have the most talent, I'd say, offensively, but those guys fight. They play hard. They scrap.
They're
That's
gritty.
kind of in their DNA that, going back the last couple of years of just, Blaze is obviously the best goalie in the world there in defense, and then, the defense playing hard the whole way. So, I don't know. I agree with Kevin in a way. I think, the Chaos had a bunch of young guys step up. Jackson Eicher, a bunch of guys, young guys. They have Zawada now. I think it'll be interesting to see, too, when the Cannons kind of get their get their full guys back. Shane Knobloch didn't play. Owen Hiltz down the line.
I think the biggest
They're
thing
going to be a team that's
they
I don't know if they're a
such
full
question mark this
contender.
year,
I don't know if they're a full championship contender, but they're going to be like a pain in the butt every week. And if you don't show up, they're going to clip some of the top teams in the league all year long.
I think that's definitely easy to say week 1. But I feel like this year there's such a question mark. We didn't really know what to expect with the coaching change. Some new guys, like Nobby's out. Some of these guys that have been here in the past. Chaos guy.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
That's AP. That's
no team
AP.
allegiance. No
What's
team
your
allegiance.
squad?
I'm a league guy. I'm a league man.
You're the Rob Lowe. You're the
everyone-
Rob Lowe.
AP
I'm a Rob Lowe.
Chaos.
I don't know if I like that on the show.
Mitch is a whip snakes. I'm a Redwoods.
No.
Are you Water Dogs or Cannons?
I'm a whoever my bets are on.
Oh,
I follow my takes. and my
Cannons
bets.
one day, Water Dogs the other.
If
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
never
take-
know.
I like Water Dogs. I like Cannons. I like the Redwoods this year.
Ohio
We'll get into
State.
that. I love Ohio State. No, but I think my biggest takeaway with the Chaos was if you looked at it from, you just look at their roster.
Yes.
And you would be like, this is the worst team a PLL GM has ever constructed.
Like
That's
when
what
you just look
when
at the
you
full
just look
roster,
at it.
yeah.
Right. What I do think is the PLL in general got some hate for just, Josh Byrne leaving, some players leaving. But this is why people are just dumb and they're wrong, is the PLL, the players that they have step up. This is why you don't expand. This is why you keep it to 8 teams for now. For last night, you saw guys that do deserve to be on professional rosters that usually wouldn't get the chance step up in these spots.
100%.
And the Chaos, do I think they're my team personally that are going to miss the playoffs. I do think they will miss the playoffs, but this is the PLL. Every game, for the most part, is going to be close. And this is exactly – and you're saying it's a moral victory for the Chaos. I completely agree. But that's almost the type of game the Chaos have to win because that's a game
Down
that
the stretch,
your defense stepped up. Blaze played unbelievable.
You gotta capitalize.
You went down 4-0 and then basically held the Atlas offense, which we saw last year.
Yeah.
Jeff Teat, Jack Rowlett had him strapped up. Up.
Yeah, I mean,
that.
and we're filming this before the Atlas Cannons game, so the Atlas got another game to go here in about 2 hours or so. So we're going to see how they respond to the Atlas. But to me, it was a little underwhelming how they came out those first 2 minutes. It looked like, wow, this is like the Atlas picking up where they left off at the beginning of last season and most of the regular season. And then after that, it kind of just slowed down. I don't know what Teat's final stat lines was, but he was pretty quiet.
He just had 1 goal.
1 goal, so... Yeah, I don't know. I want to see a statement tonight from the Atlas because I think if the Atlas don't beat the Cannons tonight, there's going to start to be some questions with, all right, you went 1-1, but, you kind of didn't have your best performance.
Let me pose you this question then. Is the Atlas average or the Chaos better than we think?
I think it's a little too early to tell.
Too early to tell.
You got it. I think what Hoagie said, after we see what happens on Saturday night lacrosse, then we'll have a better idea.
What are you shaking your head for?
I mean, it's just the Chaos just have probably the best defense in the league. It's been the same nucleus of defenders since the inception of the league, right? And they have the best goaltender.
Yeah.
Last night was the perfect recipe for the Chaos. That's not going to happen every week.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overreact to the Atlas at all from week 1 coming out of training camp. If they go 1-1, they might figure out by week 5.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, again, you're not full-time lacrosse players. You're not playing in the offseason every single day. They haven't had sticks in their hands. I wouldn't react to anything that happens in the PLL until after July 4th.
I agree with
Correct,
that.
yeah.
Doogs is in his Atlas blue today in Albany. Right?
Yeah. And
No. He's a Cannons fan. You can't forget about it.
You know what? The thing is, I think that if I was going to have a take out there about the Atlas, they are my team to take a step back this year. From all the expectations of people
Yes.
coming into this year,
Yes.
they are, and by dip, what's a dip? They're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, do I have them as a championship contender in the top 4 teams, a team that could maybe make the championships? I'd say that they might be on that outside looking.
I agree with you. I had them
Really?
I have them at 5 in my preseason rankings. Yeah, I have them low.
Kev?
I think the
Kev?
Docs Aiken
Kev?
loss is huge.
5, huh?
Yeah, I have them
look,
5.
Kev.
I don't want to jump too far ahead in the show, but I'm picking the Atlas to finally get it done this year, and I'm thinking they're going to win the championship. But it's going to be different than last year. Last year, they started out really hot, and they kind of, I thought, peaked too soon.
Too early.
And this year, I think maybe it's a little different. Maybe they kind of are in the middle of the pack, and they figure it out down the stretch. And I think they have maybe, I know we're talking to another great goalie on the show, but maybe the best goalie in the league in Liam Entenmann, who was outstanding.
Can I actually carry off that? One of the things last night that I do think that, like, this is why I'm saying after July 4th, one thing more concerning than their offense last night to me was their defense. And not their goaltending, their defense. Like, Adler and Makar, I kind of expected from last year what we saw to kind of take this extra big leap. And just based off what I saw last night, there was no leap. It was actually, I think, a regression. Again, I'm not going to overreact to one game. I'm going to give it some time. But I wasn't as much concerned about the offense given who they were playing up against.
Yeah.
While the defense was a team that I thought against this chaos offense of just like
I do think it was
an offense that got put together by fucking closing your eyes and pinning the tail on the donkey.
They did only score 8 goals, though, so it's not like Chaos offense exploded. But
But that goes down to you have Liam Entenmann.
Right.
That's
He
someone
made a lot of good
and
saves.
He did.
that's a goalie that can bail
Might be
you
a
off
moment of the
based
week.
off bad defense.
Right.
That's my point.
Yeah.
You got bailed out by Liam Entenmann.
Kinda.
Yeah,
If you had an average
But
goalie
that
in there,
could be the story of them. Like, if you have a goalie that great, like, that could be the story.
I also, like, me and Nestler were talking during a happy hour preview that we did yesterday. I was saying, since Liam Entenmann's been in high school at Chaminade, I just can never imagine him being on a bad team.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
I just don't think any team will ever be bad no matter who you have in front of him
Maybe
because he's
there's
that good.
Maybe there's a correlation. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right,
Like, Liam
right,
Entenmann
no.
would never allow a team to be bad.
Right,
Couldn't
exactly.
possibly play for a bad team. You mentioned earlier, I want to flip it to the Chaos real quick. You mentioned how Jack Rowlett played so good against Jeff T. That was actually really surprising to me. I don't know if you read the stat packet I sent around, but there was a note in there about Jared Newman versus lefties. I think everyone expected Jared Newman to be guarding Jeff T, and they switched up the matchup, and I thought Jack Rowlett did an amazing job, and honestly, that's my big takeaway from that game was credit to Roy Colsey, first-year head coach.
Great job.
I don't know if he or his staff came up with that defensive game plan, but secondly, after that, Troy Ray was outstanding as the off-ball third guy, just absolutely erased Xander Dixon, who had 15 touches, no goals, 1 assist, I think 3 turnovers. Xander Dixon might be the best crease attackman in the PLL right now. And they completely neutralized him, shut him off, and let the rest of the guys dodge and try to beat their matchup. And honestly, I think Schellenberger should have pushed his matchup with Jack Posey a little harder.
And I do think that's like Roy Colsey. I tweeted this last night. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. His game plan and his knowledge about the PLL in general, about like how to control his offensive tempo, being like, he's even telling Chris Eslanian, like, hey, you didn't need to take a shot like that in the 52-second shot clock so fast. Our defense is huffing and puffing down there.
Yeah.
If it's 32 seconds, push it on that shot when it was a 2-point attempt. But I actually think losing Chris Eslanian is going to be huge for the Chaos. I think that's a huge loss from going forward, but a lot to be proud of just culturally.
100%.
I just defensively, but I just don't think they have the horses.
I mean, we obviously all picked the Atlas, but if we would have went into picking final scores, we would have none of us would have said it would be that close.
It would have been blowout. It would have been blowout city if we were picking
Mm-hmm.
scores. Look, I think too, going back to the roster piece, the Atlas kind of have their nucleus and their guys from last year, and they're kind of running it back. Like, these are our guys at all positions. The Chaos, look, we're in the lacrosse world. Everything you say, everyone sees everything, right? They see everyone saying how the Chaos roster camp when it comes out, they stink. People saying, oh, worst roster. Like Duke said, one of the worst rosters he's seen on paper before the season ever. And I mean this in no disrespect, but it's almost a bunch of guys like an island of misfit toys, right? These are a bunch of guys who are trying to prove that they should be in the league. Jackson Eicher, Ross Scott, Josh Sawada, a bunch of younger cats trying to be like, we're here and I can play in this league. Yeah. So I do think, too, in a way, those guys had a little chip on their shoulder last night, a little prove-it moment.
Well, that's why the PLL will never get credit. Like, I think a lot of people on Twitter, eggheads, they'll be like, expand. This is where you need 11 teams. We need 10 teams. We need this. It's like, no. You see what happens. Like, the fact that we had players depart and last night the talent stepped up and there was no depletion or drop-off in talent. It was an 8-7 game. You were saying we didn't expect it to be close. I expect every single game in the PLL to be close. Every single one. And if you even look at the PLL pick'ems, I kind of talked to you about this before. For anyone that likes to put some coin on games, ready for this? If you go to the PLL predictor, right?
This is Doogs' secret.
Yeah, 90% of the people picked the Atlas. The spread was 2.5. Chaos covered the spread. Yeah. The second game, 90% of the people picked the Outlaws to beat the Redwoods. The spread was plus 1.5. Redwoods covered that one. And then the game we just watched, it was like 80% of the people picked the Archers. The spread was plus 1.5. Who covered? The Whipsnakes.
So Dukes is saying fade the kids.
Fade the kids.
I'm saying use your resources.
Yeah.
I like that though.
That's been my strategy too. Yeah. Like whenever I do these pick'ems, like I picked like the Whipstakes. It's like how can I pick bet plus 1.5 on the Whipstakes and then root for the Archers to
you
like.
Can't do it.
So I'm always just going with my who I'm gonna bet on in these small spread games.
Yeah, 100%.
I think people kind of if you're using the gambling brain, the one goals matter in this. This is not college lacrosse. This is the one goals matter a lot.
I mean, think too. The Chaos get Hiltz back, Knobloch back, and potentially if they got like Jared Bernhardt, where do we see them in a couple weeks down the line?
Exactly.
With that defense.
Let's kind of hit on that too. Let's stay on that. We'll ask Dobby on here the same question. I'm excited to get him on. Jared Bernhardt, big news. TLN, you guys posted it. Coming back to the league. Where do you think he fits best, and where do you think he will pick?
Yeah, no, I mean, so just for everyone out there to clarify the situation, Jared Bernhardt was drafted in 2021 third round by the Chaos. The Chaos took him in the third. He would have been the first overall pick, but they knew he was playing football, so it's kind of one of those things. The Archers took Pat Spencer back in the day just in case there was something where he came back, they had his rights.
Yep.
His rights are expired, so the Chaos no longer have any right to him. He is a free agent in this league.
Yes.
Can sign with anyone he wants. So he's meeting with multiple teams right now, as we've talked about. So he can pick wherever he wants. He can go best fit, whoever gives him the most money, whatever he kind of feels like is best for him, he's going to go to. So that's kind of the situation with where he goes. So I think he's meeting some point this week, next week. I think they're targeting hopefully week 3-4 maybe he'll make it out. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of spots he could go. I think Carolina, obviously jumps off the page right off the bat just because they need, that kind of that star
They're
offensively.
the team that needs him.
They're the team that needs him. I think the Redwoods, I think Joe Spalina is going to do any and everything he can to get him on the roster. Joe Spalina is probably pinging his phone. He might have to turn that phone off. It's getting blown up so much. Redwoods are definitely big for me. And then I'd probably say the Outlaws definitely are going to an underrated one. Kind of having that young rookie core with all those rookies and younger guys in the league.
And you can't forget the Whips brothers on the team as well as the Outlaws.
Whips too. I just don't think the Whips are as much of a fit compared to the other three.
You know the interesting thing, and I want to pose you guys this question. Let's say money's off the board. If you're Jared Bernhardt, where are you going?
I'm going to the Woods.
And are you saying that because that's your team?
I don't know if I'd go to the Woods. I'd definitely pick a team instead of going out in the woods. I mean, maybe like the Redwoods.
No, I think looking at the roster, if I'm Jared Bernhardt, right, star of the game.
Yeah.
One of the Tuaraton winner, was a stud at Maryland. We played against him.
Yep.
Once he gets back into form, I think he's going to be one of the best players in this league.
Rookie of the year?
And it's also, he hasn't been taking 2 years off. This guy was training to be an NFL star. Didn't work out.
So
now he's playing the PLL.
If I'm him, it's like, all right, Archers off the table. I kind of want to go to a team where I can kind of bring them to that next level. Right? Like, I'm the reason.
I think so, too.
Or I'm the leader. Like, you know what? They were whatever, and I got there, and I brought them to the top.
Yes.
Or I helped build something. Maybe not they don't win this year, but I go to the Redwoods, and we win it in 2 years. It's like, all right, I came in, we built, had a better next year, went for it, lost in the semis. Yeah. And then something like that.
If I'm the
rather than doing a KD to the Warriors where it's like
situation.
Just join the champs and get another ring. It's like
so what team you picking? Money's off the board. What team you picking?
I think what should happen, it's a two-layer question for me. It's the Outlaws and you trade Logan Wisnauskas. You trade him to the Chaos and you get midfield help. The Outlaws.
Wow.
Boy for boy. Because the way that I think about it is
I was not expecting that, Kevin McDougal. I like that.
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me because what we saw from the Outlaws, Wisnowski stepped up. Pat Cav stepped up. Brennan stepped up. The midfield unit did not. No production from them. They were like 0 for 20 shooting. From what I've seen, maybe the Chaos need a lefty attackman, perhaps someone like Wisnowski.
Yeah.
Maybe get some midfield help for the Outlaws. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe a draft, like you get some picks from that. I don't know, but I kind of like a world where you bring Jared Bernhardt onto that team and you pair him up and you get the same 3 Tortons.
Kev?
Yeah, you maintain the
Yeah.
three Torton line. Honestly, if I'm Jared Bernhardt and money's not a thing, I want to play with one of my brothers. So that's either Denver
that's a
or
good
that's
point.
Maryland.
Yeah.
And honestly, if
What's
I'm
the
looking
better fit?
the better fit for him
Gotta
is
be
probably
Denver.
I would
Denver.
think.
Do you think
But
Mon makes sense at all?
it does make sense. I do like it, and they do need help. Someone's got to step up in the midfield. But if I'm Jared Bernhardt, I probably have more friends on the Whip Snakes. Yeah, you got
Yeah,
the Maryland
Maryland
connection.
squad,
You
yeah.
know, you got a lot of guys in there. I don't know. But
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. I mean, I'm
I
throwing
also
him on
want to
Hoagie's
go
board,
Really?
too.
play for the team.
But I think we chatted on this too when we talked about it before.
was gonna try-
I mean,
I was
you
trying
like
to
the
say the
Redwoods
brother.
take on
Yeah.
him going to the Redwoods. I think
No,
that's a
no,
great-
sorry, not the Redwoods. I liked your take on the Chaos. Like, I
Yeah,
think
that's
you
what I
need
was
to
gonna
go
say
to
for-
that team. Not
yeah.
to say there's no stars in that team, but he is the guy. If he
I
goes
just
to
think
that
if
team.
I think Blaze Reardon's a star. He's an MVP of this league.
take
Mitch.
100%.
Take Bernhardt-
That's on the defensive side.
take
That's on the
Bernhardt's like
offensive side.
decision out
Yeah.
of the way. I'm saying like if I was like, all right, where should we place Bernhardt? Like, what team do you think would be a great fit for him?
Yep.
The Chaos are probably the best on paper. They technically drafted him back in the
Yeah.
day. They are in much need of an offensive
Yeah.
star. They have Blaze. They obviously Jack Rellett's a big name, like people know his stuff, but they want that guy whose jersey's in the tent
Yeah.
over there too.
Getting sold.
Star player. Chaos to me is like the perfect
think-
fit to insert him.
I do think that Blaze is a star player. I think we're kind of.
No, Blaze is a
100%.
star.
No,
No.
I think, but
You need
I
an
don't.
offensive and
would say-
defensive
yeah,
star.
yeah.
No, I agree. I think that Blaze is. It's almost being. I know you guys are saying he's a star player.
He's the best goalie in
It's
the
coming
league.
across a little bit disrespectful.
That's not
to
like
Blaze.
that at all. We're talking
Blaze
about
is the
offense.
best goalie in the league.
Blaze is
Right,
the best
right,
goalie
but
in the league.
but like of all time. He's the best goalie of
Yeah,
all
we're
time.
talking
Either way, it doesn't matter.
He's the,
Like,
he is.
is.
You're saying they need a star. He is.
They
the
need an
star.
offensive
Yeah,
star.
yes.
Okay, I should have said offensive star.
They need an offensive star.
So
Yes.
going off that, who's
Blaze
the
scored
offensive?
last
Who's
year.
the offensive star? Do you think it's Chris Kavanaugh on the Redwoods, or is he just a name?
I think they're trying to create
if
that
you're-
as
if
the
you're
star of the
trying to make
Redwoods.
that the
if
star.
I'm Paul Rabel,
Yes.
and I'm thinking about David Stern, 1995, whatever it was, when Patrick Ewing, and I'm like, frozen envelope, all that stuff, and it's like, I'm the commissioner, and I get to pick him to go to any team that's best for the league. I'm putting him on the California Redwoods, and they are immediately a contender for the PLL
I
championship.
agree with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I don't think
I
anyone's
think that's the
doubting
best.
that. I don't think anyone's
That's
Yeah,
the
but
doubting
I
best.
just think if
That's
you
the best
surveyed
fit.
people, the Chaos is what probably most people would say would be the natural landing spot right off the bat. No?
No, just because.
Say I agree.
To what?
Just say
To what?
to that point.
No, I mean,
no, I
also you have to
disagree.
figure it's like Jared Bernhardt has a decision in this too.
No,
Does he want to
100%.
go? Would he want to?
No, we're just
He
saying the
apparently is-
natural spot that you think the natural landing spot. Like when he announced he's coming back, and you're like, all right, he could go out wherever. The first team that came to mind to me was like, oh, he's
Well,
put him
just
on the
because that's
camp.
because the team that needs him the most. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily the team
Yeah.
that Jared Bernhardt wants to play
No,
for.
no, 100%.
But
That
Jared
goes back to
Bernhardt
there's no
apparently
question.
is interviewing all the coaches. Wants to talk to all the coaches. I'm curious what he's asking.
Yeah, I know.
Like what kind
Yeah.
of questions he's asking. I mean, what position am I going to play?
How much am I going to be paid?
I mean,
Yeah,
we know that.
That's definitely one. Yeah. Well, I think that
arrest
kind of that segues us into the Duke Cannon work harder, smell better moment of the week. Dukes, your boy from Long Island.
Just a kid from Long Island. Just
a
a back-to-back
gritty
natty
cat
champ.
from Long Island. Maybe played at one of your favorite schools.
Just a back-to-back natty champ. Just maybe we're talking about the best PLL goalie of all time. Maybe just the best college goalie of all time. Maybe a future Team USA goalie. Liam Entenmann.
Bang.
That save yesterday, Mitch.
I call it like a double save, kind of.
Yeah.
Save, cleared it. Oh, bing bong. Saves it again.
Save. Oh shoot, messed up.
Save again.
yeah. It's even better when you like messed up. Like he turned it over. And it's like, all right, I just got to
You know what it
fix it
reminded me
myself.
of? The Champ Series save.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two of them in the
Yes.
champ series, and it's like, I wonder if sometimes Liam Entenmann is like, this game is too easy for me. I just need to make a highlight right now. I'm going to throw it right back to the other team and make a 6 save on the
Yeah. He,
What was a better save? That one or the one he had against Cuse in college where he dove across the
that
end
was
line?
I think
sick.
this one was sick. I mean, did anybody last night, by the way, just because we were talking about Champ Series and the save that he had, when they went up 2 at the end of the game and Costabile put it in,
Where were you?
last night?
No, when that happened. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
champ
yeah.
series.
No, Champ Series. I left the building. I was so pissed. But Costabile, when he put it in at the end of the game, they go up 2. And that was strategic. They wanted to go up 2 and be like, we'll face off.
Point differential
that gave
too, though.
That gave the Chaos a chance to win the face off
Yeah.
and hit a 2-pointer. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, he almost
Yeah.
did it again.
Entenmann's this has got to be going through his head. Like there's 50 seconds
Why do we
left.
do that?
Yeah.
The meme with the helicopter.
Right. They just keep making the same mistake again and again and again.
100%. And work harder, smell better. Moment of the week, Duke Cannon. We can't forget about the game last night. Your boys. Starting at 1-0.
Redwoods, baby.
Let's give the man his flowers. Chase Erlin.
Legend.
Played elite.
Roommate?
Mitch's roommate back at home.
He did play elite. He did play elite. The
Chase
Redwoods.
played
How we
elite.
feeling?
Oh, I feel good. I mean, I was getting clowned yesterday when the pick'ems came out. Everyone's DMing me, the little axe rats, chirping me about the Redwoods pick. I go, no. Just
wait.
Look, the Redwoods really impressed me. Look, I mean, I knew with the new regime coming in, Anthony Kelly, a former Buckeye. So
Just a kid from Ohio like LeBron.
I knew he was going to get that right, especially, Joe Spallina, the legend at the GM. You knew he's going to have that thing
Trader
flipped in an
Joe's
instant.
got it rolling.
He's kind of like one of those guys, like you get the right guy in there, it's like, all right, you send the Nick Saban to, Purdue, and they're probably in the playoff in 2 years.
Yes.
Like, the right guy in there,
Correct.
you're going to get the wheels are going to turn eventually. Look, the Redwoods are just solid all over the field. Not only did they draft well, Mcadorey was unbelievable yesterday. Chris Kavanaugh, unbelievable yesterday. All those guys. But getting guys to step up all over the field, like you said, your boy Chase Erlin, amazing in net last night. The defense, solid as always. Offense, Dylan Malloy looked like he was fresh out of college after that Brown run in 2016. I mean, he was unbelievable. And look, the Redwoods are, to me, like people probably said, bottom of the league. I don't know if you put them in the contender category yet.
Bottom of the league.
I mean,
basically
they were
everybody,
the
the
worst
odds, the sports books, the
Second.
media,
Not me.
the coaches poll.
Not me. Not me.
That surprise anybody?
No, but
The
everyone
Redwoods won a game last night.
everyone had
I
them.
haven't seen that
Mitch, they won 3 games last year.
100%.
So everyone had them at the bottom of the
100%.
league, except for me as a Redwoods fan.
And
And
Mitch
Scotty
Pehlke.
Royster, legend, Redwoods guy on
Yeah.
the train with me. But look, they got a lot of
the two most unbiased guys that are Redwoods fans.
media members.
look. They got
look good.
a lot
They
of
look good.
good pieces moving forward.
How about Andrew Mack? The quick step.
He's just fantastic. He's going to be such a better PLL player than he was in college. I mean,
Interesting.
We're really seeing, and you saw Brennan last night. I mean, Brennan against Andrew. My 2 takeaways in the game. 1, Andrew Mcadorey is almost immediately going to be one of the best midfielders in the PLL.
Yes.
2, Brennan is going to be an MVP within the next 2 years.
I mean, my first memory of Andrew Mcadorey in the PLL is he wins a face-off,
Oh.
shoots out of a cannon, runs down and scores. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
all right, this guy's a stud.
And that going back to that, like the Brennan and Mcadorey pieces, I think that speaks again to what we were saying about the Duke and the coaching staff and their constraints to
connection.
playing within the system.
Yep.
It's like let these guys run.
He looks free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just run.
And
past
you heard,
like the handcuffs are
you heard
off.
Brennan. You heard Brennan in the post-game interview. He was like, it's good to see them have success, but it kind of bugs me at the same time because he's on the opposite side of the field, even though those are his best
and
friends.
you saw Mac on that first play when he ran by his defender, Jake Pacino, on the Albany. And I mean, this is no disrespect to Jake Pacino at all. Mcadorey could do whatever he wanted to him last night.
Yes.
Yeah, and also with a rookie coming in and like pursuing those quick restarts, dude, the game was not too fast for him. He's built for this game. I also think Chris Kavanaugh, this game is built for him. Like, he was amazing. 4 goals, 1 assist. Him and Mcadorey, both 4+ points.
Yeah.
First rookie duo to do that since Ryan Drenner, Dylan Malloy,
Yeah.
2017.
Wow.
How cool was it to see, too, Chris's first goal was assisted
From
by
Ryder.
Yeah, really cool.
His assistant coach at Notre Dame. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I loved that. And just like the Redwoods, what they're able to do, I think that you kind of spoke on it right away. I took the Redwoods over 3.5 wins, which I think.
Sounds like a no-brainer. I didn't even know that would be a line.
Because especially when you just think about, like, I think of the Cannons a couple years ago and the season that they had, and they brought Holman in, it just shifted the culture.
Yep.
Bringing Spallina shifted the culture completely, and
Yep.
they got the right
180.
pieces. Like you see someone like Denenza, he gets I think 1 goal last night,
Yeah.
but just like such a steady piece of that offense. It doesn't need the ball, doesn't need to be ball dominant. Their defense is fantastic, and then you have TD, and when TD can win his faceoffs,
When
you
he's
got a guy
on,
like
he's
Mac on
hot.
the wings that can go straight to the rack, and with this short shot clock, I think that makes a world of a difference because that's, again, what I believe in the PLL. There's a lot of these coaches that want to hang on to the college 80 seconds, act like the 32-second shot clock doesn't exist. The teams that have found the most success in the last 2 years
ones
are
that
teams
stack
that equip to the 32-second.
Correct.
Stagnita
Correct.
eventually shifted.
Yep.
Yes.
You see the Atlas with Pressler shifted. Bill Tierney was stuck in his old ways last year.
Yeah.
They
100%.
lost a lot of one-goal
And I
games
think that
because
goes to Trader Joe in the pickup of Andrew Mack.
Yeah, and Trader-
coaching that guy, knowing that, like you just said, this game fits him better than college. Like, that's a heads-up play.
And you want to know what's even scarier? When Andrew Mack gets tired, which I don't think is possible at this point.
Yeah.
Sam English.
Yeah.
Sam
Didn't
English
even dress
play.
last night.
No, they
Yeah.
got
I think the Redwoods, Charlie Bertrand, I think one of the most underrated, even though he's like on Team USA. I think that just somehow underrated.
Aiden Denenz had a goal too last night
No,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. But their defense, I think, is a very steady hand. Now,
Yes.
going to the Outlaw side of things, I really want to touch on quick. We saw the all towards on attack line.
Yeah.
They all produced. I think Brennan had 4 points,
Yeah.
two goals for Pehlke, 2 goals for Logan. I think that your roommate, Chase Erlin, too, like stole some from
Yes,
Pehlke.
yes.
Brennan
Yeah,
the crease
he did.
had his number. It could have had way more
It
goals.
could have been ugly.
But the Outlaws midfield, I know we were talking about it. It was abysmal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what you just saw from Graham Bundy couldn't miss the make the cage. And
Sam
he's
Hanley
one-
struggled too.
Hanley didn't
I
do
mean,
anything.
Sam Hanley, when he dropped in the draft,
It was kind of one of those. You're like,
everyone was
what's
like,
going on?
"What's going on?" I never could buy in on the Sam Hanley thing, and it just seems
Why?
like he has the size,
Yep.
he has all the attributes to be a great player.
Yep.
Never jumped off the page for me to be like, take this next
The
step. You
wild
heard
thing.
about what happened in like the Team USA games at like training camp in Indianapolis. I wasn't there. I didn't watch that game. You just hear it from word of mouth, and like he just never has really risen up to the expectations that we wanted from
The
him.
wild thing, I
Yeah.
heard Kark mention on the broadcast yesterday. Since Sam Hanley's been in the league, guess what his shooting percentage is?
12%.
22. 22%
Wow.
shooting since he's entered the league. He's really struggled to hit the cage.
Now, do you think that's a mind thing? Do you think that's something mental? That's because that's low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a guy like that's a star in college.
Yeah.
How can you not bring it to the pros? What do you
And I
think?
do think the Outlaws will be fine because, again, Sam Hanley probably working a job. It's week 1 for everybody. It's week 1
Yes.
for the media. It's week 1 for podcasters.
Yeah.
It's week 1 for the stat keeper. It's week 1 for Matty P. It's week 1 for everybody.
Nah, we're in
So I'm not
mid-season
gonna
form, fellas.
Well, I'm not gonna like overreact to anything tonight. Like even Graham Bundy. You're not gonna tell me by week 5 that stroke's gonna be back and he's gonna be hitting that top right.
Yeah, that's what shocked me the most was Graham. We've seen
Same.
Sam Hanley go cold.
Yeah.
Graham
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Kev.
Graham Bundy was electric
Oh,
last
I know.
year. Dude, the guy couldn't miss from 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dalton Young, I think, is a player from Richmond. I think he's his second year in the league. Someone that I expect to
Yeah.
pick back up. Even like Van Overbeek, I love his game.
Yeah.
Pat Cav hit him down the hash.
I know.
A quick lick lefty, and he just like that's one that's just got to be nailed. And then going to the defensive side of the ball, right? The Outlaws' defense is getting a little bit older. They are really good. I think Bassino got absolutely cooked last night on his home turf. Like absolutely cooked. It was bad. But
Yep.
like
Goal
he'll-
though. Not gonna shout him out for the goal.
Yeah, shout out for the
I
goal.
was literally about to shout him out. I'm sure that got clipped and nothing else got clipped.
Yeah.
They probably hit all the Mcadorey stuff, but like no, but like just the defenses in general looked a little disheveled. But McElroy and Cage, someone that I really thought played well last year for that defense. I think the whole defense, Pacino included, Manley, everybody, great defensive unit last year. It was like the backbone of their team. Do we have a goalie controversy going into next week?
Yeah, I think they got
With
it.
McNaney.
They should
Yeah.
try McNaney at least. See what you got.
Right, and
It
I,
doesn't hurt because I don't want to pin it to the Atlas situation last year because they were rocking and rolling,
Yeah.
winning. So
Right.
you can't start.
Troutner
Liam
was
last
on
year.
fire
Yeah, Troutner
last
was
year.
playing good, but this situation's different.
And it's weird because Liam was not saying McNaney's not an all-time great goalie. He's one of the best college goalies ever.
Yeah.
Liam is a special talent.
Yeah.
Liam was like, wow, he's like, I'm not going to compare Liam and Logan McNaney. I'm sorry, I just won't do it. But Owen McElroy has been in the program, the Outlaws organization, for a while. He kind of earned his stripes last year to be the starter. Do you pull him immediately after one game when there was reports of him coming out of training camp that he had the best week out of any Outlaw? So are you going to overreact to a game?
Oh, yeah. And
Well,
again,
it depends.
It is week 1.
and it's pseudo. So like, is it going to be like, hey, we're going to start you this game, Owen, and if you play
We'll
shaky,
take it from there.
you're out of
Look,
here.
I love.
Well, the Outlaws didn't have a first-round pick.
Yeah.
They took McNaney 10th overall. So it's effectively a first-round pick. How long, if you're going to invest that draft capital
Yeah,
in him,
you gotta
you don't
use
want him just sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
That's my
100%.
opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think McNaney's obviously he's been one of our favorite players. We've talked about for
Yeah.
years, like the most underrated player ever since that injury, and then
Yeah.
obviously came back-to-back years, led them to the championship. I do think McElroy should start at least another week or two. I think you owe it to him to give him the chance to keep
Yeah.
playing. He's been their starter for what, basically 2 years now.
Yeah.
If we're going back to the
Yep.
last 2 years, he was great last year. Like you said, he had a great camp. Like I don't think one night on a night game in the rain you just pull him after.
Yeah,
that.
I'm also
I think
short
you give
leash.
him. I think you
Short
give him the
leash
first
next
couple
week.
weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be a short leash next
But I
week.
think I think you give McElroy the benefit of that. I think you let him keep rolling.
And-
He
Personally,
deserves that spot. But
I
at the
think he
end of the day,
deserves
like,
you got a great
this seat's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, seat's hot.
Yeah.
Because
Do
it
you have
wasn't
to
just a bad
perform? Yes.
performance last night. The second half was atrocious. It's effectively probably what lost them the game. I also just want to call out the commentators. I think what they were doing last night on air
Disrespectful.
was so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Would
They were just basically like getting rug burns on their knees for Logan McNaney being like, get McElroy out of the game.
It started in like the first
it
quarter.
It was insane. It was insanity. The rug burns were just like insane because
it did start early.
Last year led them to the playoffs.
He was unbelievable.
Organization started to get rolling. He saved like 73% in August in one game.
He was great.
Yeah, great. And I'm not saying that Owen McElroy is the greatest goalie of all time.
Yeah.
But to pull him after week one,
No.
you got to put in Logan McNaney. It's like
They were acting like you had Scott Sterling in net there.
Right. Maybe you do, but like they were giving McElroy no
From the jump. It's ridiculous.
It felt like McNaney was like paying him the floor.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I think Max got to give him next week at least 2 week 3, and then if you want to make
that's
change,
the last thing I want to touch on.
If
That's the last thing I want to touch on. Pseudo will not listen to.
no, he doesn't care.
The
Pseudo's going to do
booth
what he
or
thinks.
or the
No, he
public
doesn't
pressure.
care.
He will
None
do
of
what
the
he wants to
coaches
do.
should. You're pseudo. What are you saying to Owen next week? Are you saying anything? Because again, the mind game with the goalie, the mind game with the goalie is like then you're kind of hopping into a UVA situation.
Yeah, you can't have that.
No, I understand. Yeah, I think, and once you make the change,
I'm a
It's
ball
permanent.
knower.
No, that's
See
it.
that? Don't even test it.
Once you make the
didn't even
change,
know you
Kevin,
knew
that's
that.
it.
yeah, you can't really flip flop.
You can't go
so
back.
Once you switch, you got to be sure about it. I just think that if to make the McNaney pick in the first place tells me it's not like McElroy's a veteran who's been in the league for a long time, needs to be replaced soon. He's a young guy.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're taking that McNaney with that pick tells me you don't have all of the confidence in the world in your goalie situation to begin with. So it should be a short leash. And yeah, you should let your goalie know, hey, if things go south pretty fast here next week, we're going to make a switch.
Can I also I think that also Scanoni being retiring, you're forced to get a goalie, and you want to
That's
make
true.
sure that you are set with the goalie position because you're pretty much set on paper everywhere else.
Yes.
So I think that
Correct.
was probably part of the
But
strategy.
at the end of the day, like drafting Logan, like
Yeah.
he knows. Like
He's in the
it's not we're not hiding anything.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
Yeah, it just would be weird for me for Pseudo when they're like, hey,
Yeah.
like, who impressed you the most at camp this week? And he's like, Owen McElroy had a great camp, like arguably the best out of everyone. Tarafanko said the same thing.
Yeah.
And then just for like one game later be like, ah.
And look, it's
what's
easy.
the end of the day?
It's easy for the media too.
You got to be a performer.
You
Yeah,
got
but
one shot at this.
Yeah.
Mitch, it's easy too for the media and people to criticize or whatever after one game. You don't know what's in the locker room. Those guys in the locker room
Yeah, they
are
know
behind
best.
Owen. They love
100%.
Owen's his game. They know he's been their guy for
Still a great
couple
player,
years
but
now.
at the end of the day, like if you're a coach, you got to make decisions, and if he doesn't play up to their standard and they lose another one, like the conversation is only getting bigger.
I agree.
Also,
I
like-
think Owen deserves another game, at least 2 more
Yeah.
games.
I think at
if
least
by
to
week
have-
4
100%.
you're not sold on him, then fine to try someone out. But I think after one game, it's
The
ridiculous.
PLL, you also got to make a move though fast because you
Yeah.
got to start stacking up wins, and you know how.
100%.
Like,
I
what
think
do-
I think Sudan's not going to play McNaney this weekend. I think Owen's
No,
starting.
no,
It's also a cultural thing. Like Owen's at least going to get a half, but like how nice is McNaney probably on that
Oh,
iPad?
McNaney's like the great guy. McNaney is probably fine with sitting the whole year if he has to.
He missed it. I said, how nice do you think McNaney is on that iPad? a lot of the backup
Tillman
goalies
taught
use
him
an
well.
iPad,
That was
yeah.
his
he
boy.
knows. He's
Don't
his natural habitat.
Learn from the best.
Oh my God,
Be
yeah.
the best.
But they're going to be interesting to, and we'll be
He's
obviously
probably
talking about
doesn't
them.
know how to hold an iPad. He hasn't held one
Yeah,
in
I know.
6 years.
Jesus
He's got to
Christ.
learn
Yeah,
how
they
to do
have
it.
iPad
But
classes.
the Outlaws, though, before we move on, I think are going to get better and better as the year goes on. I know the season goes by quick, and
Yeah.
you got to stack wins fast. But there are a lot of young guys still kind of getting into the league form. Still kind of their core group of guys still trying to get comfortable in the league. Look,
at the end of the
these
day-
are younger guys, a year out of college, 2 years out of college. Let's be real; they're not settling down yet.
Yeah.
They're not with the wives or the girlfriends. They're out
Yeah.
in New York City working the jobs, having some beers.
Yes,
It's
enjoying life.
not the full thing.
And at
So
the end of the day,
they're
it's
going to
still
get better
week
the more reps they
Still
get.
week one.
It's week
Yeah.
one for
It's
Still
everybody.
week
One.
one. Still week
Don't
one for everyone.
overreact. This
I
week.
think also
Podcast,
the-
Doogs, and the whole thing.
The
Let's hop
Outlaws,
into
the
today's
Outlaws,
game.
the
Let's hop into
Outlaws, the
today's
Outlaws,
game.
the Outlaws, the Outlaws, the Outlaws.
Let's hop into
the
today's
Outlaws,
game.
The
What do you
Outlaws,
got?
the Outlaws.
Okay.
I forgot what I was even going to say. I just wanted to keep going.
I thought he was gonna
Let's hop into today's game. We're going to have Dobber
Just
on
wanted to
here a little
bully
bit
you.
later. The Whips Archers. The Whips won.
Championship.
I'm gonna give
The Archers.
or the Archers won. Did I just say the Whips? Because I was about to go into the three-peat. Sorry about that. The Archers won. I don't want to start the conversation too early, but are we smelling a three-peat?
Yeah, I think they definitely have the
Would it
chance.
shock
to do
anybody?
I don't think it would shock anybody. Look, the maturity that team has.
You don't think it would shock anyone? No, let's be real.
No, it would not shock anyone. They're the favorites to three-peat, Mitch.
Yeah, but a three-peat's hard to do.
Yeah, but it's not going to shock anyone when they're the favorites to do it.
Did anyone see this coming?
Yeah, but didn't we say Notre Dame was the favorite to do it?
This is my fucking goal.
See? You guys clown me. I'm a ball knower. Notre Dame was favored to do it. Didn't do it. Archers was favored to do it. Are they going to do it?
I don't think they're going to do
I
it.
don't think was Notre Dame really the favorite at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think so. They were ranked number 1.
Yeah, but just because they were ranked number
Hit a
one,
single
no.
right now because I know ball more than you.
No, they.
Whip
Notre
Snakes won the
Dame.
game.
Notre
huh?
Dame. Notre Dame was the favorite. Notre Dame, honestly, didn't become the favorite up until mid-April. They
I think
always
everyone had them ranked number 1 coming into the year.
They did.
Yeah, but when you win back-to-back, you're number 1 automatically coming in the next year.
mean,
vote.
the
So
odds
then that
make-
means you're the favorite. Okay, let's.
The
We're
odds-
not.
the-
College is
the-
done.
the
We have
odds-
more.
No.
It
Let
was
me
fun.
explain odds really quick. The odds makers do not care about what
Corey,
you did the
cut
last
this
2
out.
years. What? I'm sticking up for you.
Okay, so do you think they're going to three-peat? Yes.
Yes,
or no?
I do.
No, they're not my pick to win the championship this year.
I don't think they're going to three-peat.
I don't think so either.
I think that health is a very big concern
Yes,
with getting
100%.
with three-peating. Dobber kind of alludes to that later on. But yeah, I think that health is a big concern. And a big reason why teams don't even go back-to-back.
Yeah.
Tom got injured last year.
Yeah.
Pretty late. They were very fortunate that no one else really went down.
I'll tell you why. One of my reasons why I have the Archers three-peating, besides the fact that I love their roster, besides the fact that I love their team, their culture, the whole thing. This year, new playoff format in the PLL. It's going to be East versus West. So it's going to be top 3 in the East versus top 3 in the West. So you can't have 2 East teams playing the championship. Can't have 2
So
West
they're
teams
going to
playing
beat
the
your
championship.
Redwoods.
I think they're going to beat my
Wasn't
Redwoods.
that
Yeah,
last year, too?
I think the.
It just happened to be that way.
Yeah, it just
wasn't
happened to
like
be
that.
that way, but it wasn't set. But to me,
Now it is.
when I look at it from an Archers perspective, I think Archers clearing away are by far the best team in the West. I really don't think it's close.
Okay,
I think
then
there's
let-
a big
let-
gap.
let's
So
get right into
listen,
it.
that puts the Archers
Yes,
in the
100%.
championship game. I think the East playoffs are going to be an absolute gauntlet, and you're going to have to play 2 of those tough-ass games back-to-back weeks, and then you come in the championship a little beat up, especially if you have to play those 2 games.
Let's predict the championship right now. You just heard them. 1 East, 1 West team. Who you got? So you got West. You got the Archers.
Yep.
Who's your East? squad?
Archers over Cannons.
Okay.
I'm going Atlas over Archers.
I'll go Water Dogs over. I'll go the Dogs.
Wow,
Over?
we're
Over the Archers.
Literally worst to
Over
first
Archers.
with
So we all have
Curse.
Archers
So
in the championship.
okay, interesting. Because I'm going to say Atlas over Redwoods.
Wow. I would love that.
I think the Redwoods are hot. I think they're hot. They have
Wait, you said Atlas over
They're
Redwoods?
hot?
Atlas over Redwoods,
Okay,
but I
Atlas.
think they can get there.
Yeah.
I think they can get there.
The
And
Redwoods
again,
are the greatest 1-0 team I've ever
We'll
seen.
talk to Dobber. Dobber the robber. Health is a big deal.
The health is definitely
Health
a
is
big deal. Obviously, they got a
And
bunch of
I'm
guys.
going to be honest, as an Italian guy, I trust Trader Joe. That guy knows how to win, and I truly believe it. I'm going to leave it there because I think the Redwoods are going to get the championship.
There's
But
gotta
I
be
think
more
the
Italian
Atlas is
guys.
their squad. You said it earlier, right? The Atlas came out buzzing. I think this time last year we were like, Atlas looks amazing. They went like what, 2-0, 3-0. They were rocking. Peaked too early. I
Yeah.
do think that's a big thing. They obviously had a win earlier today or yesterday. They have a game tonight, so we'll see what ends up happening. But Redwoods, Atlas winning.
All right, let's see.
Baltimore.
Let's see who Babe Ruth called their shot. Right
Yeah.
now.
Come on. All right. Now, you obviously just heard our championship picks. Let's go into our official award picks for this year. MVP. Who you got?
I got Asher. I think Asher takes it.
Asher.
I'm taking Asher. I think the Cannons are going to have a better year than most teams expect. Obviously, I don't have them winning the championship. But look, they're back-to-back Champ Series champions.
Yeah.
I think those guys, they looked like they were primed to go on a run last year and then just stumbled on their face in
Yes.
Gillette Stadium against the Chaos. One of the shocking upsets we've seen in the playoff run. I think those guys are going to flip the script, come back this year, focused all year, and I think
Yeah.
Asher's going to have a big year. So I'm going with Asher.
Kev?
I'm going to go with Liam Entman. You heard I said Atlas are my pick to win it this year. There's a lot of guys you can make a case for as the best goalie in the world. Obviously, Blaze Reardon has kind of held that mantle. We're going to talk to Dobber, and he's back-to-back MVP, championship game MVP.
Yep. Peace, yes.
But I think this is the year where we kind of see the difference, and we see, okay, Liam Entman can bail his team out like he did this week, and I think he wins the MVP.
I like 2 guys a lot.
Okay, who we got?
I'm going to give my one.
Okay.
The other I kind of alluded to earlier, the runner-up, I know, someone that I think is going to be in the finals, is Brendan O'Neill. I think he's really going to have a strong year. I think this really takes a leap. My MVP, though, Michael Sowers.
That was going to be my pick, but yeah.
Michael
that was my
Sowers.
second. That's my runner-up.
I think he's going to really take control of this offense. CJ broke his hand. You don't know what that offense is going to really look like this year.
Yep.
I think the Water Dogs were a couple goals away from being one of the top teams in the East last year.
Yeah.
It's just a difference in the league. I think Bill Tierney's coming in with a different attitude. I think Michael Sowers is going to take this challenge. I think he's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
So Brendan O'Neill, MVP. Who should the MVP should have been? Michael Sowers?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, that's your pick. I'm with Kev. I like Liam. You know why? Because they're going to make it all the way. And also, too, what he's going to do in Cage, we've already seen it. We've already talked about it. I think that's a mainstay. Doogs, you're probably number 1 fan. You can allude to it. I'm surprised you didn't pick him as kind of your go-to guy.
It's just going into this league as like a goalie. it's pretty tough to pick a goalie for an MVP.
Yeah.
They're
I
just
think
at
he's
such
due,
a,
though.
just
Remember,
such a
we had the
disadvantage.
Torton conversation.
I do think Liam. I don't think I'll ever pick Liam to win MVP.
Okay.
But I think that I would die on the hill that he will definitely be an MVP at some point. Does that make sense? I think
fair.
it's,
I got you.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to pick season for season. Like, this is going to be the year that he wins MVP. You don't know when that's going to come, but he's going to be so good.
At some point.
Yeah, at
Well,
some
it's
point.
sooner
he'll
rather
win.
than later.
Yeah, I get what Duke's saying. He's saying Liam, if he another 10 years is going to get an MVP at some point, you just can't pinpoint what year it's going to be because, let's be real,
It's
for
so
a specialist
hard.
to win it like
Yeah.
that, it has to be a special certain kind
Right.
of year because usually
Yeah.
it's always going to go to the best offensive player.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
So at some point, he's going to get one.
Well, if
but
someone
may
does
just
not
be this
have
year.
a Jeff Teat like year this year like they had last year,
Right.
it's up for grabs.
No, it is, but I get what Duke's saying.
So far, no one's off to that kind of start.
Sowers is a guy that's been knocking on the doors for a couple
Sowers
years.
been
Yeah.
knocking
Yeah.
before the injury last year.
now he's got the
I
pieces
almost had
around
him
him.
as my MVP
Yeah.
for the first part of that year.
And he's got the pieces around him. Let's go rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year. I'm taking Chris Kavanaugh from the Redwoods. I think big showing the other night. The Redwoods, he's kind of going to have the keys to that team. He's going to be
Yep.
like probably that main guy. Look, when I look for rookie of the years, obviously Malone fit in so well last year. But for
Yep.
me, Chris is kind of going to be that main guy week after week for the Redwoods while they're still building out that roster. I think, he's great the other night. I think
Yep.
he's only going to keep getting better. I got Chris as my rookie of the year.
I'm going to go second here.
Okay.
Andrew Mack.
Mac.
I flow so well in the offense.
We might have to get you over to the woods now. You like the woods. You got the
I'm
green
still in the
shoes
whip,
on
still in the
tonight.
whip,
Come
still in
on.
the whip, still in the
Are you
whip.
still with? We have to talk to Rambo and Heathcock. They might kick you out the club.
Trader Joe, guy's been coaching him forever, knows how to put him in play along with Denenza and those other 91 Long Island Duke boys. I think he is a great fit. We talked about earlier. PLL fits his game better than Division One. Kev.
I'm going to go with Jackson Eicher. Had a great game, and I also think that he's going to have an opportunity to shine with this Chaos
100%,
team
yes.
that's kind of like looking
Unless
they get Jared Bernhardt.
Correct.
Yes, unless they get Jared Bernhardt.
Does Jared Bernhardt count as a rookie?
Yes.
That's interesting. Maybe Jared Bernhardt would
Yeah,
be a great
rookie of the
pick.
year.
All right, so I'll say either Jared Bernhardt or
rookie
Jackson
should've
Eicher.
been. Yeah.
But he was awesome. 3 goals, 2 assists in his first game. The fact that he's undrafted, the fact that he's an Army guy, they're going to talk about him every week. Every time the Chaos are on, you're going to hear about Jackson Eicher. And we saw just a couple of years ago, Brendan Nichtern, Army guy, can come in. They're built for this. They're big dudes. And
Yes.
I think that Jackson Eicher can easily come in, dominate Rookie of the Year.
I have Andrew Mack. I have Andrew Mcadorey. I like the Jared Bernhardt pick. I do. I kind of wanted to take that, but
That would be sick.
yeah, CJ Kirst. When you're talking about him, I think he's number 1 pick. Obviously, hurt his hand.
Yep.
He's going to be coming in like a freshman to this Water Dogs locker room. Like, he's going to have to get adjusted to this veteran presence, and I just don't know how they kind of work around that if he comes in midseason.
Yeah, I mean, he goes from like the oldest guy, the 5th-year guy, and then now he's restart, brand new locker room. You come in fresh, just like the first day of class. Like, you're just new, you're brand new, dude.
And for our last pick, week 1, we got to make these picks because we want to flash back during the championship and see who's right, who's wrong. Coach of the year. I'm going to go first. I'm going to stay in Ohio. Who am I picking, D?
Come on, I was gonna same thing. I'm taking Anthony Kelly too.
Bang, the
Come
train.
on.
The train got
I
his
think
first win.
we might have a lot of Anthony Kelly. Anyone else on Anthony Kelly? No.
I want to, but I'm going to do something different. I really like the pick, but I'm going to do something different.
What do you got?
I'm changing my championship game pick.
What?
I'm middling this. I'm picking the Cannons,
Over.
and I'm going to take over the Archers,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take Coach of the Year.
William Tierney, baby. Really?
Wow.
Tierney. I think he's going to go from worst to first, or cursed to first. You like that, Kev? You gave me that.
did, yeah.
I like that.
Cursed
little
to
plagiarism.
first.
But I think that Bill Tierney is going to be locked in. I think he said going into this year, you're going to get finally. You guys boys are going to get Bill Tierney this year. I think he's going to be locked in. He's going to be hunted for that championship.
Are we getting Princeton Tierney or Denver Tierney?
You won it both, so either one.
What does that even mean, man?
Which one are we having? Are we having five or are we having 1?
You're getting the Philly scumbag Bill Tierney. You're getting an even better version of
The
it.
Angelo,
Like that?
not even-
Angelo's
I could-
cheesesteak. Bill
Is he
Tierney.
Italian or not? If he's not, then I'm not picking him.
Imagine Bill Tierney living in Philadelphia in the city. I
Imagine
can't
Bill
imagine.
Tierney. Yo, could you get Bill Tierney by the end of the season to hit the frog?
Yes.
You think you could?
Yes.
I bet you $100 you can't.
I can't bet. I'm a nice guy.
Come
but-
on.
I'll bet. Does it have to be on the show or like, hey, Bill, hit the frog real quick?
We need
No,
a
it
photo
has to be-
evidence.
It has to be
Photo,
on the show.
video.
It has to be on the show or in
Okay,
video.
Corey, save that clip. Keep
Video.
reminding
The
me.
Water Dogs
I'll
got to
get
be
it.
good enough though to get him on. We need to get him on the pod.
And I'll give you till the post game.
till the season's over.
Till the post game Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show towards the end, and at the end we'll get $100 and we'll transfer.
Okay, post game of the championship. game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Because if he wins,
He's frogging.
he's like,
Yeah, that's what I'm giving you a layup.
okay, that's easy. I can make that happen. No problem.
I just changed my pick to the Water Dogs.
No, I think that wraps it up. But
No,
now,
I didn't give mine.
Oh, what'd you give?
I don't have a spicy take, but I'm going to say Chris Bates.
Okay.
You know, I just
Steady
think
Eddie.
that it's
Is it
going
a little bit of a Tillman effect?
Well,
It's
this
the
is
standard. It's the standard.
Well, yeah, the standard is so high. So here's what I think. See, I said earlier, guys, bringing it closer for this.
Yeah,
I
huddle
said,
up.
Archers Atlas is going to be the championship game. But if you think about when the awards are given out, they give out the awards before the championship.
Yeah.
They're going to give Chris Bates his award for making it to a third straight championship. But it'll be a little too soon.
Ball Noah.
I think
Press
Anthony Kelly's the easiest pick because they'll just look at like new coach, he over exceeded expectations. So like,
Is Colsey a sleeper?
He's a sleeper, but I think Bill Tooney. If you think about it, how could you not? If they go from worst in the league to first in the East, how do you not give that coach?
Yeah, that's
Coach
fair.
Tooney?
And he's a wizard.
A lot of
Tierney's
storylines.
a
A lot of
wizard.
storylines. Bates. I like that, Kev. That's going to roll us right into their star player, Brett Dobson, for an interview. Let's do it. And now we got Brett Dobson. Clap it up for Dobby. Dobby, how we feeling? Post-win, season start. That's how we do it. How we feeling?
I mean, I feel good. A win's a win.
Win is a win.
You know, it wasn't the prettiest out there weather-wise, and maybe the ball was flying around a bit, but I feel like it's good to start the year 1-0 leaving here.
100%. A little rainy training camp week. How's the week been?
It's been awesome. We got a bunch of beauties in our team. You know, it always is, and you know, you could be negative about being at the University of Albany, or you could look at it as a positive. And I think our whole team looks at it as a positive. We get to see the boys for 10 straight days.
I like that. That's what it's all about. A couple guys banged up, but you come out with the W. What does this one mean for the guys with the amount of cats you guys have out?
I mean, it's awesome. We got a guy like Sam King getting some taste, Fordo, Spider, boys buzzing out there, rookies stepping up, and I think our whole team is kind of more of a next man up mentality. It's always been that way the last 2 years.
Yeah, 100%. We're obviously live here. We're going to do it outside, but the rain, like Dobby said, hasn't been ideal. Kev, for you watching this game, first win for the Archers, how do you feel this is a key win for them in this season?
Dude, a little slow to start.
Yeah.
But I love watching Brett in a low-scoring defensive battle game. How do you feel when the game is like that, when it's slow, pace is slowing down, you know every save, every shot matters? Can you feel that during a game, or does it always feel the same regardless whether it's a shootout or not?
I think it's the same. I mean, I try to stay away from shootouts as much as possible, but you know what? Sometimes they're going to happen. But, yeah, I felt like today was no different than any other game. And, you know, it's an old quote, but you got to do your job. And I felt like most of our guys and almost all of our guys were doing their job today, which is great.
I felt like one thing was different this year. The shoes. Did we switch up the tires?
I'll be straight with you. I haven't been home yet since, so my guy has me up a nice pair.
wow.
He's got me a pair of Otanis, and the tariffs that are input right now come from Canada. Not easy. I got dinged on those with my diabetes stuff, so coming back down, I just had to put a white pair of Otanis on. So
Okay.
That's
Stay-
what it is.
so stay
We
tuned.
saw it from the box. We're like, Dobber's shoes are not the normal
Something's
ones.
not right.
don't worry. The guy did me good. He got me them
Good pair
nice.
this year?
Oh, very nice.
There's one thing, you know, starts this year in the PLL, new ball color. As a goalie yourself, is it easier to track? What's a little bit like taking some getting used to seeing the ball? What was the difference with the ball color?
I like it. I remember looking. I was like, "Wait, did they change the ball color?" I had no idea because I think
Oh,
they did
really?
sixes, and I got here. I was like, "I can see those things from all the way up here. Like that's good.
Yeah.
I like this. Maybe it might
Goalie
help."
stream.
I think
Yeah, seriously. Instead of nerfing the goalies, we helped them out a bit more. Hey, it's about time.
Maybe that's the low score and not the rain. The new
Yeah.
balls, the goalies are just
Yeah,
seeing
that
it.
was the other thing I wanted to talk about because they were talking about on the broadcast. I was driving up. I got up at halftime and watching it in the car. I think Kark was saying that Tom before the game was worried about the slickness of the ball and you know playing out there in the rain in these conditions. Obviously, stick technology nowadays it doesn't get too affected with it slipping around. Did you see anything with that with the ball out there? Was it slipping more than usual?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you play in the rain like that, it's going to slip it more, whether it's the ball or your stick or just how your stick's strung. So I think for guys, it could be a bit of a problem, but I don't know if it was much of a problem for Fieldsy after he threw that first one away. He was on fire after that, eh? He was buzzing.
Yeah.
Also, when it comes to rain, I think goalie position's the one that does not get affected as much because all you have to rain or sunshine, you're still going to stop the ball.
Still gonna save the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on also the venue too. Like sometimes the turf can make it slick and it flies off
sure.
it. I felt like today it was just like soaking it up, so it was nice to kind of
Or
have
if
it
you
die
also
down a
let
bit.
one in, like when the ball hits the net, it does like great for highlights, like the splat, and then you're just in net, like reaching for it or whatever.
Yeah,
It was
any-
sick. Like,
any-
Tom's was sick today when he scored and it like pinged out.
Yeah, it was
after he
sick.
scored.
Kev knows that too from TLN doing the Instagram. He knows how many Albany games are in the rain that get put on TLN for that splatter
It's
on those
bang
stages.
time for the
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
like that
Bang
Yale
on.
game. This
Yeah,
year
the
was,
Yale
like,
game.
downpour.
Oh,
Yeah.
all over it. All
So
over
sick.
it.
Crazy to say. I saw a video of you during training camp come out of the cage and absolutely hack someone.
Yeah, that was hack city.
How much do you like getting out of the cage and just throwing around the body, throwing around the stick.
I don't love it, and I feel bad because, that's my guy, Cole Williams. We won a ring with him. But I, watched it thinking in my head during the game, I bodied him up. And then I watched it back. I was like, damn it, that was right on his wrist. I got to apologize. It's a preseason game.
I think that was the biggest clip of training camp.
Oh, my God, I saw that. I'm like, Jesus.
Everyone was posting it. And slow-moing it, full speed, everything.
Do you remember a time when you came out of the cage, you had a massive hit or somebody checked you hard, you're like, God damn, that hurts?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple last year. I got bodied, Bundy bodied me at Utah, and I was just grabbing on to see whatever I can get my hands on. But I remember in college I had a couple bad slashes that probably should have been flagged that didn't get called for in the MAC. That's MAC ball, though.
That's MAC ball. Let's stay on MAC ball. Bonnie's. Can you give us an update? You're kind of man to the people about the squad.
Yeah, you know what? We're gonna be okay. At the end of the day, we're gonna be okay. And I love Coach Burns to death, and wouldn't be here without him. But at the end of the day, Chinese farmer analogy, right? Don't know if it's gonna be good. Don't know if it's gonna be bad, right? Let's keep looking at it. Hey, you know the analogy I'm talking about.
I have no idea, but I like that. Did you put your hat in the ring though? I want to know that firsthand.
I did just get my green card, but I did not. I got a lot more lacrosse to be playing with.
Okay,
so.
that's good. Yeah, but you can't even apply for that job because after you're playing, you're in this chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you're set. You got the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Dobber, I think, was your 4th appearance on the show?
Yeah, you're
You lead
leading.
the-
I think
I'm
you
up
lead
there.
the
I'm up there.
Players up there too.
I'm up there.
Yeah.
But going back to it, though, I think we've had a couple of higher-end guys. I don't want to throw them under the bus because I don't know if they're going to be taking the job yet. But some big names guys that I was like, really? They want to coach here? Okay, that's pretty good. We're moving up here. I like it.
That. That's good to know. That's good to know as an alumni. Have you been watching a lot of college lacrosse? Obviously, what Cornell and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂 has done this past week has been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I did watch the championship game. I try to stay away from a lot of the college stuff just because there's a lot of lacrosse between the NLL, the PLL, coaching, high school, all that kind of stuff. But, he was on a hell of a run.
Yeah.
He was unreal. He's on a heater.
Yeah, he's
on a heater.
He's on a heater.
It was
Generational
a
run.
generational run.
Yeah,
And
on
also,
multiple.
you're one of the players plays both box and field. 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂, great box player, knows what he's doing in the box. What would you say? What you see him? He's potential #1 pick in the NLL draft. What have you seen him do at the box level?
I think he's going to be a lock. I mean, I think it's going to be the first time in a long time we've had 2 American guys go -- back to back.
Are we coming?
You're getting there.
Someone's coming.
You're not. Well, yeah. You guys can keep playing that. We'll keep playing field. We'll be okay. The rules might change, but overall, though, I think I can't say enough good things. But I never met the kid. He's just got a smile on his face, does everything the right way, and
Always smiling.
And his family's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just seen everything on social media and knowing Kirsty, all the other boys, they're all just great people. So I'm happy to see him succeed.
100%. Let's hop into this week, obviously. Training camp leading up to week 1. Can you give us a prediction or an insight on what the Archers are going to expect this year? From an outside looking in, coming back, we're going to win another one. Some guys banged up. Give us an inside scoop.
Yeah, I think every year the goal is to win a championship. And obviously, we've been lucky to do it the last 2 years, and I don't think that changes this year. I think we got to keep adding depth, keep getting our younger guys more minutes, and we got to acquaint the guys that are coming back from injury as soon as we can. And you know what? Those guys that are playing now need to get their names called again down the stretch. Look at a guy like Vano. Vano was the man last year. I'm so happy to see him succeed. And unfortunately, he's not on our team right now, but he's going to have a good year with the Outlaws and a good career in this league.
100%. Hoagie, as a gear rat yourself, you probably saw the rings. What
did.
are thoughts on the rings? The
I
rings.
thought,
Hoagie's a ring rat?
He's
at
a
Ohio
gear,
State?
ring, jersey, any gear he can get his hands on.
Yeah, I mean, the rings were sick. I mean, I love how they did kind of like the NFL trend recently where they
Open it
up and have the field inside and stuff.
Yeah.
How cool and special was that when you guys got them presented the other day?
It was awesome. I'll take my flowers on that design today.
Did you? Wow. All right, Dobber designed it.
That's
Wait, how
fine.
do you get
So-
the pick for that? Is it just like you're the man, so you design?
No,
You're the team MVP.
No. They gave me the reins on the first one, and then they're just like, here you go again. I was like, okay, let's have some fun with
Sick.
this. So
How does it compare to the 23 one? Blows it out of the water.
yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. It's a little bigger. It's nicer. I should have showed you guys them.
That'd have been sick.
Yeah, that'd have been sick.
Yeah,
I do have a question. Obviously, going back to back is hard enough, and so many challenges that you guys got through last year. What's the biggest challenge going back to back to back that you've noticed so far?
I would say probably staying healthy. It's very hard. I mean, a lot of guys are banged up. That's a lot of lacrosse over the last 2-3 years now, I guess, right? So, and just keeping your head straight. You can always look in the rear end and see we can rest our hats and that kind of stuff. But I think for us, I don't think we're satisfied with where we are. And I think we got a lot of lacrosse to play still, and I think our best lacrosse is yet to come. I think for this team, we got so many really good weapons in our roster that like you can put in any time and they're gonna go make plays.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And
100%.
then I got one more, just speaking on, they touched on it during the broadcast, and I think that for a lot of the young cats that watch your show over here, Mitch, you play this high arc when people are outside
Yes, we were just talking about
shooting deep. And, Dylan Ward, I think really that became a staple of his game was that high arc. What's up with you and the Canadians playing this high arc? Is it just like an inside job between the Canadians? Like any Team USA goalie is going to start doing this?
I mean, they might. I mean, look at NT. NT sometimes challenges.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
boys.
yeah.
I mean, he's lanky too. I always
is.
chirp. You put those calves away, you're gonna make somebody. I can't keep looking at those things. Tuck those.
He's
sweats
like a
down.
long spider.
Yeah, seriously. But he's a beauty. But I think for us, like, yeah, I mean, if I don't like a shot, I might step out, just try and get hit with it. If I'm okay with just getting hit with the ball,
I mean,
might stay out.
you're stepping, not taking a
Yeah.
step
No,
out. You're at the
I
crease
realized
line.
that today. I was like,
No,
this
literally.
Is that good or bad? Is
I
that
don't
what you
know.
want?
I don't know. I gotta watch the film.
No,
Game one.
there was one. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Ajax on the LSM.
Yeah, this is
you were damn near at midfield.
Did you see where he put the ball though? Did you see how much hook he had to stick and it went over there? It went over there.
Even if there wasn't weather.
Yeah, that's what you got
I
to
was
blame it
like,
on.
Jesus, I didn't think he had that.
Stringing that stick before camp, being like, oh shit.
Seriously, this will be good to go.
At this level, this is something that obviously Hoagie and I played D1. At this level in the pros, are they still teaching you technique at the goalie position?
I think it's more so like, and I'm grateful to have Brian Kavanaugh as our goalie coach and runs our box for a team, but like he's good, more of a whisperer, just hey, he's good here, talk through things. If I bring it up to him, he'll give us some insight. But I think for a lot of us, we know the position pretty well, and you can always try and pick something up from another guy in this league. So if you see certain things that they're doing, it might help your game out too.
Yeah.
So it's give and take in that, but it's more so just kind of understanding like, hey, you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
You're pretty good at your job, so let's keep it up, right?
100%. Like, I can't imagine, like, is Bates, like, yelling at Shriver, being like, you need to do this?
Could you imagine?
Or no?
I mean, I feel like their relationship, he might be able to, just because they've been
Yeah,
together for
yeah.
so long. And but I think, like, pros are pros, right? You gotta let them be. They do their stuff, and it's more just guidance. And I think our coaches do a great job of that.
Yeah, I saw Grant. I saw on Twitter that Grant and coach were jawing at each other, and like that's a good relationship to kind of have.
Yeah.
Where you speak vocally. I mean, I don't know what was really going on there. Could you give us any insights into that?
They were going at each other.
That's what according to Shane.
I mean,
Thornton
I kind of just
see. Then it was that tells you everything. It was nothing. If
Yeah.
it didn't have to be addressed, it was
Yeah.
nothing.
yeah, like I mean, I like look at it like I mean, I don't talk
They
to
said on
anybody.
Twitter Grant
Right.
was going after Matty P, and then Bates kind of stepped in.
Oh,
It's like,
okay.
We don't need that. That's
Oh,
all.
oh,
that's
The day-
perfect. I mean,
That's all it was.
you know what?
the
Go
day
after Matty P. That's a regular. I feel like in this league, and I love him.
How many chirps are you throwing at Matty P?
None. I don't chirp guys.
You're a nice
I
guy.
looked at the one
You
guy
don't
today.
chirp any guys.
No,
Just
no.
podcasters.
Just podcasters, eh? But no, like I was looking at the one they called Piper for like a high hit, and he's like, "You got him right in the head." I looked at the replay, and he looked at the replay as well. He was like, "Yeah, I was wrong on that one." I was like, "All right, well, at least you can admit it. You know,
yeah,
respect.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can admit
That's
it."
cool.
And they didn't score, so it was okay.
Yeah, brought us a line.
Who's running the iPad for you guys, by the way?
Tillman?
No. I'm not sure. I don't think the iPad was really working at all today because of the weather.
Because that's what I wanted to ask, because you guys tried to challenge a goal that was probably going to be good, and Bates didn't make it within the 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I was just curious who was running the iPad.
That 30 seconds runs up quickly too, right? So it's and sometimes it's like even when I did it my rookie year, it's not really coordinated that well. So it's like you're shit out of luck, and they don't play the replay on the screen, so it makes it that much difficult. But
Yeah.
You ever throw in a challenge when you're like, I have no idea if this is going to work? Did you ever tell Bates?
Yeah.
Not. I mean, indoor, I'm always like, yeah, he was in, and he's completely out of the crease. It's just like, we can't have people floating in the air like that, you know. So,
body.
yeah, seriously. But no, I try to stay my best on like just letting the coaches do their job, and whoever's challenging can see it. But if you can see something clearly, you can challenge. But there was one last year, like when we played the Redwoods in Utah, and they scored that one with like 2 seconds left from two. There were 7 guys on the field. We were yelling to challenge it. But it wasn't challengeable, so it forced a rule change this year.
Okay.
It would have been a Redwoods win, but then Archers overtime win there. So
Exactly.
huge,
It was
that was
massive.
big.
big
That
for
was big.
seeding, big for everything.
It was
man,
massive
right?
for the whole weekend and then the playoff run last
Yeah,
year.
100%. I want to talk about your backup today.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Renner. D2, coming off a
former teammate,
national
Marco.
championship. How about that guy running out on the field celebrating with in the dog pile?
I had to do a double check to make sure that was who I thought it was. They brought him back, next year. Marco.
Hey, coach, I'm waiting for the ring. But for him to be your backup, you obviously give him some guidance. How is that for you, kind of being his big brother?
Oh, he's the man. He's a
Yeah,
beauty.
he's a great guy.
We're already talking bar spots. You know, he's the
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
my type of guy. I like him, eh? And we had a great goal room, like Tubbs. I'll give him his flowers. pardon my language, he's the fucking man.
Yeah.
Tubbs is the man, and that's like a tough shoes to fill. But Renner's done a great job of filling those shoes so far.
Yeah.
So he's been beauty in that sense, and it's not easy. I mean, going on a championship run, winning, going on a bender, and be like, hey, we actually need you at camp, pal.
Yeah, he probably had his first water like recently.
Yeah, seriously. You might not stop after this one tonight. You know.
Dude, warm-ups, he's probably seen 2 balls the entire day.
Yeah. If you went down, it probably wouldn't have been great for the Archers.
No. But I was
Too
like,
good.
whatever it is, just tape it up. We'll be fine. We'll be okay.
We'll be good.
Just speaking on like the whole week and then Caps like ending it with the victory that you guys had today. The Archers boys. I know not a lot of beers flowing for you guys. How many total beers do we think the entire Archers organization has taken down tonight?
Oh, a lot of guys are out here, so I'll have to carry the boats for the boys tonight. But we got a few of us hanging back, so I'll give us a case or two.
TK is gonna get after it. Good.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
But you know what? It's not a championship, so you know what? We're gonna enjoy our time with the boys. We're back at. I think we play Friday next week.
It is a
Or
long
Saturday.
week, though.
Saturday.
Yep.
Saturday. So
Saturday.
It's a long week, so just getting through that in itself is an
Exactly,
accomplishment. With the
yeah.
victory.
You guys got Boston next week, I think.
yeah, we do
Another
play.
big game.
Dobber, one new guy you mentioned a couple times, just stepping up, new guys coming in. I got to ask you about is Brendan Lavelle. This is a guy who 2 years ago popped off the screen to me when he was going out against Brendan O'Neill and when he was going up against CJ Kirst. Kind of shocker when they moved up in the draft. Archers did to go get him. What do you think of his first performance? What's your first impressions of him?
I said it in the interview after the game. You know, his nickname's Spider. Right? You get caught in his web. So he held Rambo. He had Rambo to no goals today, and it's like, this guy's also an animal. You know, he's an animal out there, and he plays hard and he plays tough. And adding that, like I feel like we have some pricks on the DN with Haas and Warren Jeffrey, and like you throw him into
Woodward's
the mix.
sneaky.
Woodward's sneaky,
Yeah.
but like Woodward is also very talented, and like these guys are like Canadian sandpaper. Like, hey, you're gonna pay a price, you're gonna beat us, and Spider's got that sandpaper to him, and
That's
I love
great.
it.
Yeah,
Spider,
obviously
I
you saw
didn't know
that
that.
from the highlights. CJ Kirst, the
Yeah.
boy knows the whole thing.
Yeah, no, that's crazy, and honestly, I've loved him. I feel like 2 years ago he was a first team All-American, and then last year, just because I feel like Penn's season was down, everyone kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
He was only an honorable mention. I'm so glad that he's on the team. And Bates moved up. I love when Bates sees a guy he likes, like Woodward last year. He's not afraid to go get that guy, and he knows like what is it that he sees in these guys that maybe other people are like, not really worth it.
Yeah, I want to touch on that too really quick. And he's like the John Harbaugh at this point, where,
Yeah.
where Harbaugh,
yeah.
like you see this guy in college and college football level, and he's just
Kind of looks like him too a little bit.
a little, yeah. You know
I
what?
can see it.
Yeah,
A little
and
bit. No,
a
yeah.
little bit. But these guys in college that have a great sophomore year, and then junior, it's like slips off, and then they go to the Ravens. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Kyle Hamilton's going to be the best free safety in the league.
Well, same thing with
He's
him getting
nasty,
Sam
yeah.
King
Yeah, right,
in the
so,
third
like-
round. Like stealing Sam King in the third round.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna talk about that for a second. I don't know how we fell that
That's
far.
TJ Malone like last year. same
Dude, he's
vibe.
so
Sam
nasty.
King?
Sam
Park.
Kinger is
he has been
nasty.
listening to the podcast.
He's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Investment banker.
Investment banker, bro.
Kark has him as a first round talent,
Yeah.
investment banker. That means he falls 20 spots.
I know.
Listen, I mean, we can go. I love Kark, but at the same time, like, come on, like Kinger's legit, and I mean, I guess guys drafted needs, and the fact that he was there in the third round for us was huge, and like. Trey not playing and him being ready, like it's weird, but like he's kind of like similar to kind of like how Marcus Holman is with how he moves and like little short Gilman guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
yes.
can shoot well, like
Yeah.
Torts and finalists. Like I think Kinger's gonna be playing in this league for a long time.
It'd be hard pressed to find someone that's been a bigger Sam King fan than me in the last 4 years. I've been pumping this guy's tires for 4 straight years. I think he's unbelievable. When he fell to you guys, it was again Harbaugh, where I'm like, he'll be the rookie that makes the All-Star team this year. Fantasy lineup this week, he was 6 coins, I think. I put him.
You gotta
That'll be
put
up
him
next
in. You
Yeah,
gotta put him
30
in.
Get him while he's low.
30 points like that. I was like done.
He had 30 today.
Yeah,
3
30
assists.
points. Yeah.
Jesus, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Dude, that one in the back end, I think to Matt Moore. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, see ya.
Well, his
See
first
ya.
touch of his career, bang down the side, pass, assist.
You,
Yeah, there
you
it
should have
is.
seen him in camp. His first run in the scrimmage, we played the Atlas, and he went right at Danny Logan. I was like, this guy's a dog.
Oh, that's
This guy's a
fucking-
dog.
Wow, that's a
Animal.
tone setter.
Animal, but like he's so fundamental and like he does everything right and like is just so smart with the ball. Like he's gonna be a great fit for this offense.
Yeah.
I feel like last time we talked to you, too, I just want to touch on this with the Utah Archers organization. It was after the championship. We're talking a lot about the championship, obviously, right after. But talk to me about the Utah Archers fan base. You know, we got the home teams now. You guys are going to Utah later this summer. It's not a traditional hotbed. Going out there, seeing the fan base get wild, like how would you
It was
rank them?
bumping last year.
Yeah, how would you rank them into all the fan bases that you've played?
Well,
last
that's
year?
number one. We were all watching the game yesterday for the Atlas. We're like, these guys are getting loud. This is loud here. I mean, granted, we were in the nosebleeds watching the game, but like, it's like, the bank's different. The bank out in Utah is different.
Yeah.
But
I need to get out there.
You should. You'd be fit right in there with the Congo line and everybody else there.
I'm a chameleon. I'll be like, any fan base I go to, I'm like, fuck it, I'm down.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, our fan base is awesome. They're passionate. They're loud. And that's Utah sports fans as a whole, right? They're very grateful to have teams out there. And I think us having success is huge for them. And I think we'll be able to. I was talking to Mike about it. I was like, are we able to even move our team to the big Salt Lake one? Is that a thing? Are we at that point yet? But I don't think we're just there yet. Soon though.
No,
A couple more years, we should be able to
Utah
move.
fans, they soak it up for sure.
Yeah. We talked about this. Before the show started. I want to get your opinion. I think everyone knows you're at least top 5 lax rats in the organization in the PLL.
Yeah.
Give me your top 5 lax rats that are players right now. You can put yourself in there. 1 being the best, 5 being the,
I'll throw CJ Curse at 3, and he hasn't played yet because he's up there. He's up there.
Okay.
And they got to be playing in the league.
Yeah, I got to be playing. So CJ's 3.
Yeah, he could be sliding up though. I got to think about it here for a second.
I think you got to beat.
I'm up there, but I feel like Marcus Holman's up there too. He's
Yes. Because he's seen it all.
I'll put him at 2. Let me think. I got to go through teams now and start thinking about it. Schellenberger, I'll give him.
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say.
Shelley 1.
Yeah.
Brandon
You're
not
Shelly
a lax
1.
rat?
I think he is, but he doesn't. It's disguise.
Yeah,
more.
it's quiet.
Yeah,
you gotta
it's
get him
disguise.
out.
I agree with that analysis.
Yeah.
He's like an undercover rat.
I would say you.
He has a burner account on the YouTubes watching the videos.
Yeah.
You gotta
seriously.
Do you have a burner?
No burners for
No.
me.
Do you know anyone who has burners in the PLL?
I don't. I'd love to find out if we do.
Yeah.
That'd be funny if they
Yeah,
did.
this podcast likes to sniff and hunt out burners.
Nah, I respect the burners. I like chopping it up with them. I'm like, you want to
burners
call me a
break some
fraud?
big
It's like
news.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, I'll put myself at 4, and then maybe just throw. Who can we throw at 5? That I'm thinking about right now.
Give me an oddball, like a guy like you, not in the media, not one of the biggest names, but just as a lax rat.
Lax rat. I'll give. Let's give Mac O'Keefe it.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
I thought
GCG.
Mac, not GCG. Sayok.
Sayaka,
Mac
okay.
was up there. I was curious if you were gonna say Mikey Schlosser.
I don't know him that well enough to know it. Like I know he's a beauty, but I don't know if he's a lax rat.
'Cause I would assume he is. Given how many times can you tear your ACL and be like, I'm still gonna rehab all year long.
Rat
and
level.
Just keep.
But I
doing
think
it.
I would put you up against anyone.
I would agree. I think I've taken a step back recently though, because it's like, hey, this is a little unhealthy, you know.
You had to go to rehab for lacrosse.
No.
You guys got to detox from lacrosse. It's like, dude, I'm overdosing on
But I want to
lacrosse.
ask you this, and I honestly think you could. If you put all the Archer sticks in a pile,
Oh, I'd be able to tell right now.
really, every person.
Every single person.
Wow. God.
That's a lax.
That's why you got to be
Yeah,
one.
yeah, that's where the unhealthiness comes from.
crazy.
That's so.
Yeah, but that's also just knowing your teammates.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
you're a team
that's-
guy. That's a
yeah.
good thing.
Who do you think? Yeah. Have you ever won Teammate of the Year?
No.
I think we
No,
got
we
to
can't.
be pushing
We
the
can't
tires
push
We
this
get
year.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, Nick Wishuta deserves that over anybody.
Okay.
This guy takes 10-yard step downs every single practice and like gets hit and he's just like, let's go again, boys, keep going. And it's just like he's the first guy to be like, yeah, I'll take your sticks apart. Like I got you. Take care of this. Stick breaks, I'll unstring it for you. Like
That's awesome.
I'm not. I mean, as much as I'll take my flowers for that, he's got to be up there before me. He's the man.
100%. Like that.
You would never do that.
No, I'm true. I would never do
Team
that.
Mitch was scared. Mitch was scared of the rain today. I was like, "Yo, you want to go down to the field?
No,
I got a
dude,
poncho.
He's gonna mess up his hair.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't have
yeah.
that
It's all
happen.
natural. It's
Yeah.
all
One of these
natural.
weekends, Mitch
Quaff
wants to
on
get
it.
hacked up by Graham Hossack.
Oh my God! I'm saying I saw that hack on Instagram. I'm like, dude, there is no shot. Even if I had the skills, I would not be playing in the league.
I want to.
The amount of hacks.
I literally would like to do. You know, remember the first year
Sports
sports science?
science? Yeah.
Sports science. I think the loser of this year's PLL thing should have to do sports science.
There you go. That's it. That's
Dude,
the winner.
That's it.
You're pulling a Mitch. You already just said
did
one.
you hear that?
Loser
I
of the
think-
Pick'ems has to do a hacked up by Hossack.
The sports science, the whole sports science. You have to remember
Yeah.
the sports science thing.
Oh, yeah.
The loser of the Pick'em challenge for us has to do every single sports science with John Brankus and be the dummy.
No,
You're in
absolutely
cage.
not.
You're getting
Absolutely.
hacked.
But in
Who's the
some big
defenseman?
news, Jared Bernhardt.
I saw that.
We recruiting him?
Do you have
Utah
any inside
Archer.
scoop on where he's gonna land?
I've been asking everyone this. Also, the contracts he's getting offered.
Are we hearing 6 figures?
6 figures.
Must be, the ESPN deal must be coming through.
When's your contract up?
I don't know. I just signed an extension. A few years ago. I should get
You're like the WNBA players that signed the extension.
But I wanted to play for one team only, so
Yeah.
they took care of it.
Your
Team
deal-
guy, team
your
deal.
deal.
Can't
Hey,
forget
lock him down for life.
But Jared, what do you think? Do we have any inside scoop? Where do you think he ends up landing?
I think with one of his brothers for sure.
Okay. Ooh, interesting. I didn't even think about that. Really.
Yeah.
But then again, it's
Webster
like,
Outlaws.
Yeah.
is it about the money or is it about winning?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like he could be getting less money to go play for a better team. So it just depends on how
A lot
he
of
wants
us on
to.
this.
He did say he's all about growing the game.
Yeah, what'd you think about that second part of Field Yates' report? I don't know if you saw that, but he said he's not just considering what team gives him the best chance to win, but also the team that gives him the best opportunity to grow the game. What team in the PLL do you think Jared Bernhardt would most grow the game with?
Then are we talking about the most oddball city he needs to go to?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how you guys interpret that, first of all,
I think
aspect
he'd
of
fit
the
great
report.
on the Redwoods.
Well, then
personally.
Redwoods probably
Grow
the best.
That's what I thought.
California,
Redwoods, California,
sports,
maybe.
Trying to grow that brand.
I know Dobber's here. Just if we're gonna, I think if he goes to the Redwoods tomorrow, they're like immediately a contender.
100%.
I would argue.
I mean, yeah.
I had a hot take. I said maybe the Atlas because Doc's left. And he could fill in that. Not saying
Out of
the
the
same
box?
player, but like same athleticism, same type of
That's fair.
player.
I love 𝐓𝐇𝐄 from Cornell. And not that he's like Docs is so talented overall, but like athletically, I think they kind of match each other.
Yep.
I think they both are freak athletes.
To go off that though, there's a lot of freak athletes like Mcadorey. Did you see him just burn it last night?
Yeah.
Shot
Dude,
out
he-
of a cannon all
oh,
night.
he's so fast. I think there's other guys that like are fast, but they don't like run like that as fast, like look as fast as like he does when he
Also,
runs.
when it's like this condensed field and you see him like run it, I said it like people got mad at me about this. He looks so much cooler on the Redwoods than he did at Duke.
At Duke, yeah.
Just everything about
He's kind
him.
of in his own form right now. And I feel like for you, a guy that's been playing in the league, when you're watching some of these college guys play, can you be like, that guy's going to be a star in the PLL?
Well, I was watching the Chaos and Atlas game yesterday. And I was like, who the fuck's that guy who just pulled that top left? They go, yeah, that was the guy who was a tour Tom from Army. I was like,
Jackson
I was like,
Eichert.
he's nasty. Okay,
Yeah.
I should probably have known that. That guy's got it. He's got
I think we always talk about it each year. I feel like the league gets so much harder, so much more competitive because it's just. I feel like it's getting younger each year. You see some of these old cats on their way out, but it just shows like it's hard to crack a roster.
It's very hard. It's very hard to crack a roster and to keep a spot in the roster. And there's so many good players coming each year, coming out of the draft too. Like it's very competitive. That's why you got 10 days here to figure it out. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see.
So you're all set.
It's not guaranteed, so we got to make sure we keep it in our spot.
100%. 100%. I think that's it. Anything else? What are you guys feeling?
Congrats. And honestly, if Jared Bernhardt wants to play for a team that'll help grow the game, I think the Archers, man, if you want to be in the spotlight, back-to-back champs, like
100%.
you're going to be playing most likely at the end of the year.
Yeah, but is this like a KD to Golden State type thing?
Yeah, you don't want that, but it's also like if he's looking for the money, I feel like we got a lot of really good players we got to pay. So that he might be taking a pay cut to
A
play
lot
on
of
the team.
all-stars on
Yeah.
that team too, and then all of a sudden us as podcasters, we have an obligation to be like, was Dobber carried by Jared Bernhardt?
Yeah,
in his
it's
third
the whole
chance? Like,
thing.
Yeah.
you
If you
gotta
could
do all
pre-
these things.
If
and
you
then-
could predict right now where Jared Bernhardt ends up, what team do you think?
I had a crazy take. I said the Outlaws the other night.
You think so still?
They got a bunch of guys on rookie contracts,
I can see that. I like that.
I think the
and one of
Outlaws.
his brothers are there too.
I think the Outlaws are in the
and
top
it grows the
contenders.
game. I think it's Outlaws or the Redwoods.
I mean, selfishly, go to the East Coast, go to the East, and stay out of the West.
Yeah.
Stay out of the West.
Keep the West at the
So
bottom.
Dobbs Aiken, the Atlas.
Yeah. The whole thing. See, well, congrats.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
Here we go. The
Thanks,
W.
Thank you.
Dobber, appreciate you.
Anytime, fellas. Thank you.
Post game W. Ashton Nolting. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We're back. I just want to say this second time in the chair. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's good to be back with the
Good to be
fellas.
back. It's
Oh,
good to be back.
it's good to
It's
see you
back. You
guys.
could be a mainstay. Hey, when your career's done, this is the job for you. So.
Love
Dude,
to
this
be on
is
the
the
cup.
second guy already you've already offered the job.
Yeah.
Listen.
He offered a
Dobber's
job
been
to
in this chair
Dobber
twice
and
too,
you.
so you guys are kind of front runners. You think
Yeah,
you
but
outbeat him?
you want a goalie in the chair? We already got a Fogo. You got to have some normalcy here.
We need
Starting off the year with a W, how does it feel for the Cannons?
It's great. I mean, I think that's lost last year, obviously. Kind of got embarrassed last year on it, and then year before lost again. So good to get an opening weekend dub for sure.
Definitely. Obviously, being here the past week with the guys, getting the chemistry down with the young bucks and the vets. Talk of the town tonight, Will Manny. How crazy of a story is that? He came here last year, got cut, worked his ass off the whole past year, tried out, made the team, and was the talk of the town for you guys tonight.
Agent Zero, baby. That's
Yeah.
why he wore zero.
Yeah.
Shooter on the wing. But no, he's obviously a Hall of Famer. I think there's no doubt about it. All-time Cannon. So good to have him back in the in the Boston colors. So it's been great.
Yeah. What type of vet presence does he bring to the team?
He just brings so much experience. Just the IQ, the talk. He helped the young guys out so much this week. I think that's a great guy for our boy Maxie to learn from, and I think that's it's an unbelievable opportunity for him to learn from him.
Yeah. Obviously, coming off the success of the Champs Series, heading straight into the season, the talk for us was the rivalry between Boston and New York. Obviously, in other sports and other leagues, it's big. For this sport, in this league, is it real on the field?
Yeah, I mean, we don't like each other. I think it's I wouldn't say that, after the game I think there's a lot of mutual respect from both teams, but yeah, in the trenches it gets chippy, and it's fun, and it's a really good atmosphere. And you'll hear some extracurriculars after the whistles.
Yeah, I mean, I could even just I could see you. You're on this podcast twice. You're a talker. We know you can talk on the field. We know you can talk on the mic.
Guy.
A nice guy, professional
nice guy.
Liam Ensman's also been on this show. And
Yes.
let me just say this. That guy can talk on the field. Were you guys saying anything on the field to each other?
looked like you guys were
What's Liam
stalling a little
Ensman
bit.
saying to attacker? Because we know he likes to chirp.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year I definitely got in NT's ear a little bit, and then it's just like we'll just talk to him. He's like I said, goalies. They just want to chat. I don't think it's anything crazy. Then, Drenner lefty stick side high. I'm going to obviously tell him where it went and how hard it was. And I was like, come on, Doc. That's it. All right, there we go. And so we'll give him a little here and there. And then, it's good stuff. Yeah, it's always good banter.
You think he learned any chirps from Timmy Troutner, though, your teammate?
I mean, no. That guy, it's like a bunch of you sucks and your mom stinks or like something like that. It's nothing like his is like talking to like a fourth grader. It's like you're really mean. And it's like, all right, Tim, great chirp.
What type
Well
of
done.
chirper are you on the field? Are you diabolical, like you're doing research, or are you just like you suck?
I'm a big you suck guy. I feel like that's easy.
I think it's one of those things. It's just like you suck, and it's like, damn.
I think if you do some research, that's mean spirited. I want to be mean to you on the field, but I'm not like, oh yeah, look at his high school girlfriend. I know her name now.
Yeah.
I'm not
that's
that
crazy.
guy. I'm not Jalen Ramsey type.
Yeah,
Like,
that's crazy.
That's a little much, but yeah, nice little. Oh, that's your fault. You stink. You stink. It's always good for morale.
You think there's anyone in the PLL that does do research?
No, I don't think
Like
so.
any
I don't know. I don't think we've gotten there yet. If it has, I think we'll get there eventually.
I agree with you. I mean, that's
I
just
don't-
Loserville.
That'd be kind of cool. I mean, the second we heard it, that would up the stakes a little bit. Then everyone would be like, all right, maybe I can start doing the
But
research.
at what point, like, researching is like for the high school student section to like get to
Yeah.
like the other
That's
town's
fair.
head. If you're doing that and like 32 years old, 10-year vet, it's like, dude, go watch your kids. Go take your
Yeah.
dog for a walk.
Yeah, it'd have to be a young guy for
That's
sure.
like what they're chirping at club
Why are you
ball
looking at
when they're
Coulter
like,
Mackessy's Facebook?
yeah.
what do you say when you were at BYU? They're like chirping like, you have 4 kids on the sideline. or
That's
something.
different because that's a whole different other ball
Yeah,
game.
that's a lot.
And are you more likely to chirp after you make a play or after a teammate like Drenner makes a play like that?
Anytime. I
Low
think it's
ball.
any goal. It's just a little walk by, like, got him. Like a little Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like, a little like, ooh. Just some little things here and there. Just a little whisper in the air as you jog
Just a
by.
little something.
And he's just like, what the f- is that?
I like that. Coming into this year, how much has your preparation changed? Coming in, what year is this? Is this yours?
You're 4.
Jesus, you're getting up there.
Senior.
You're
Are you-
4. Yeah, you're a
is
vet
there
here
Unk-
now. You're a
is
vet
there
now,
four-
Ash.
Is that Unk status? No,
That
he's
is
not.
No, that's who Marcus calls me nephew. I call him Unk because he's been walking around all week. He wore like today we went and got breakfast. Wore skinny jeans at like 8 a.m.
Oh, Jesus.
And he like put them on. And I whispered to Zach, and I was like, "Are you wearing jeans? Like we went to Peach's Cafe down the street, and I was like, this guy's nuts. What's he doing?" I was like, "Nice jeans, Unk," and he was like, shit. And he gave me the little Boondocks like Unk thing. So it was like, all right, he's just Unk. So I'm nephew still. So I got some time still.
I like that.
I got one for you. Just obviously, you guys didn't reach the ultimate goal last year. You won the Champ Series. Had some additions this offseason. Who's someone rookie or offseason acquisition that you think could really step up?
Yeah, I mean, they're all studs. I mean, Mick Kelly's an absolute horse. Ben Ramsey, shout out to the rest of the PLL. Thank you for him. That was awesome. I don't know how that dude falls to the 4th round. I mean, look at him today. So many dope GBs and the transition play. He made Jake Stevens look like he was standing in cement, and then nice little skip to 1 for step down. So, our guy Graydon Hogg too, the hometown kid, just the ball.
Albany.
The Great Dane showing
the
out
Great
on the
Dane
field.
showing up on his own field. He's just a ton of studs.
How about Owen Grant?
Yeah, I can't say enough about OG too. I think the presence he brings in the middle of the field is unbelievable. So, yeah, we'll give you the 3rd overall pick for that any day.
Fun fact about OG. OG and James Hogan were on the same visit to Ohio State
Yeah, we
10
were.
years ago.
Yeah, we were.
No wonder he didn't go to Ohio State.
He was like, I'm going to Delaware.
He's like, you know what? I don't know if I can handle.
Yeah, he saw me with the
I'm
high
good.
socks
I
up
think
to my knees.
Coach
Mitch, he was
DeLuca,
like,
I'm coming to you.
so you're saying Hoagie committed on that visit?
Yeah, and Hoagie committed on
There's
that
me,
visit.
Owen Grant, and this Ronnie Hickman, who ended up playing football at Ohio State, is on the Cleveland
He's
Browns.
on the
and
NFL
never
now.
ended up playing lacrosse.
God, who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Obviously, a long season ahead. For you now is that that vet status. I know we joke, but you're definitely taking a different approach to being a leader on the team. How's that changed this year compared to obviously years prior?
Yeah, I think, just being here, having the experience of doing a training camp, obviously, and doing this is my fourth one here. Just, trying to take that next level on the field. I think taking the step of the leadership role, being a better, mind on the field and maybe not forcing it as much, maybe getting rid of a little high point Asher.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been good. It's been awesome. Coach Sternstadt's been awesome with that. He's, done a ton of stuff with us so far. So, it's been good. Just taking some steps here and there. And like you said, long season. We got a lot left, so it'll be good.
Is there a sense of urgency though coming up just this year in general? Marcus is getting older. The nucleus, that this might not be the last ride, but it's slowly dwindling down for him, and you want to obviously get one done for him and his dad. Is there a sense of urgency more this year more than others?
Yeah, I think, we always try to have that, but I think 100%. I think this is a year that there's a sense of urgency. We have the cohesion on defense. We get the man back in 40. Jack 𝐓𝐇𝐄 was a monster. Gave one of the best pregame speeches I think I've ever heard last night. Like, I was like, dude, how am I supposed to go to sleep now? Like, what are you doing to me? I'm jacked up. I'm like, I gotta walk to CVS. Like, I gotta walk this one out. I can't just go to bed. But no, and it's just getting the defense back. Obviously, having Kirsty net, the addition of OG, the Rammer, and all the other guys. But yeah, no, I think this is definitely the year we feel a little bit more urgency to get it done for sure.
Do we want to give a shout out to Cherry Creek?
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on, talk that.
I saw that.
Talk
I saw that.
19-0 for the boys.
Don't forget about it, too.
Shout out to the boys. Cherry Creek, 19-0. State champs. Suck it, Valor. Private school, man. All right. But, hey, that's also Cherry Creek baseball won today. That's Cherry Creek's 9th state championship this year.
Wow.
As a school. So,
wow.
Shout out CCOD.
This year?
Doogs,
Yeah.
you want to give a shout out to GCG?
Well, GC just swept Manhasset this
Did
year.
they?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Nice.
really
They
not
won
even
the
about,
wood stick
it's
for
not
like
even
the
a rivalry
15th time.
anymore.
You
Yeah.
heard of Riverside High School?
Yeah, my boy Grayson old now.
Yeah. How do you know that?
Listen, I got my connections, dog.
Let's go.
Lax Rat. We were talking
Lax Rat.
about.
Okay, let me ask you this. Hold on. Give me
take
your
on.
active players' top 5 Lax Rats in the league.
Right now.
Oh, this is
I
a
think
good
it's
one.
asked
1
Dobber this
being the
before.
guy, 5 being like iffy.
Okay, we'll go Lax Rat. For me, number 1's Colin Kirst.
Okay.
Kirsty
Great one. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good
Number
one.
1's Colin Kirst. I'll go number 2 is probably that's a tough one. I'm gonna go sneaky one, Alexander Vidaro.
Okay.
Really?
Interesting. Under the radar guy.
Under the radar guy.
Yeah.
Literally, I could be like, oh, who's that? He'd be like, oh yeah, he works there and does this. And I'm like, all right, cool. I just wanted to know.
He
what
works-
his
he
name
works
was.
there.
I was like, I just wanted to know his
That
name.
guy.
He's starting a new job next week,
He's
actually.
like, he's actually starting at new real estate. I'm like, what's his name? I don't care. I'm like, all right. I gotta go me 3. I know way
Okay.
too much about.
Okay.
I know. I just being in the club world too, working with 91 and formerly with 3D. I think, I'm like, people are like, how do you know that high school kid? I'm like, not to be weird. My brother's in his class. Like, I know those kids. I coached them. He's like, how do you? And I'm like, all right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you lost it.
But
And 4 and 5. Who we got?
4. Are we saying the whole league or just
Whole
Whole
league.
league.
Oh man, I don't talk to a lot of guys because that just gets weird. But
I respect the hell out of that.
Yeah.
I hate interviewing players because if I talk shit about them and then I have to see them, I'm like, I like you.
It's gotten weird to the point where like my rookie year, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be nice to everyone, and then I was like, all right, not gonna talk to that guy, not gonna talk to that guy, and it's slowly just gotten bigger and bigger. to where
Yeah,
I'm
so
like,
does it get
I'm walking
awkward
by
at
and I'm
training
like,
camp?
Good to see you.
You're in
How
the
you
food line at
How you
training
doing?
camp, though.
How
And
you
you're like,
doing?
And then
How you doing?
Lax Rat. I'll go. I'll actually go Mac O'Keefe 4.
Okay.
Dobber said Mac,
Dobber
too.
did say
Yeah,
him.
he's a
Dobber did say
Lax
him.
Rat. We at Maverick Shoots, we shoot the crap about everything under the sun when it
Yeah.
comes to lacrosse.
I love
and then
Mac.
5. Think about teams. Well, it's not Matt Rambo.
Shot. You got the Outlaws. You got the
You know what? I'll
Redwoods.
go with my high point guy, Jack Van Overbeek. Kid loves lacrosse.
Okay.
He knows everything about it. He's another guy that I'm like, oh, how's that guy? He's like, oh, he got a new job and this. I'm like, I didn't ask that. I did just ask.
All right, let me ask you this: we asked Dobber on the show, and he said he could. If I put all the cannon sticks on the ground and mix them up, could you pick one out and tell me who that belongs to?
Easily.
Every stick.
Every single stick.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, that
Every
is
single
sick.
That's
stick.
nuts.
Could you have done that at Ohio State?
No shot.
I could do it at High Point. I could definitely do it here.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be like, no, that's that's Colton Maxey. Oh, that's Ben Ramsey. Oh, I could do
Oh
it.
my god.
Evie's got the rookies down already too.
We're gonna do a Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show. Who's the biggest lax rat? Like trivia. Get you guys all on
That
the
would be
spot.
sick.
Yeah, need a challenge.
Yeah.
Actual challenge.
Listen, that'd be great. I'd love to participate. in that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Like, are you smarter than a lax rat kind of thing?
Yeah, I like that.
Are you
I love that,
yeah.
Doogs.
Bring Rambo in against us and be like, who was the 2015 national champion? And he'd be like, sorry.
Who was the 2017 Tewaaraton? Fuck.
He'd be like, oh.
I won the national championship that year. I don't remember that night.
He's like, he had a better night than Curse that night, I'm sure.
What are you talking
The
about?
world may never know. God, I love that. Yeah, last question for me. Obviously, we got the Duke Cannon patch. I got a little new scent for you potentially.
What do we
I
got?
got one back here.
Ooh, a little
I don't know
sawtooth?
if you've smelt this one yet.
Was this the bar?
Yeah, it's a brick.
Give it a smell.
It's a
and tell
big
the
ass
fans
brick.
what we
Open
got
that
going
thing
on.
up.
Am I allowed to say the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mitchell get weird about it.
Big ass brick of soap.
Take that thing out.
Sawtooth.
You might have to take that to the
Whoa.
take that to the locker room.
You know what?
And I've heard this whole past week you guys got absolutely hooked up with Duke Cannon product in the dorms.
Duke Cannon was fantastic. You know, we had a little midnight swim for us in the
This
dorms.
is weird pass
This
this
Sawtooth is fantastic.
That's when I got my shower.
I'm not going to name the competitors, but they're not even close.
Not even on the same path.
You could put anyone's bathwater in that one, and it wouldn't smell as good as that. So.
I like that. Nice guy.
Mitch likes to get his mouth washed with that soap, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah,
I'm
he's
a
like
nice
going home like,
Mom, I said a
Mom,
bad word on the
blip, blip.
podcast. I was around Dukes.
Mom,
He was
blip, blip,
cursing.
blip. She's like, Mitchell,
wash
in
my
the
mouth?
bathroom.
Get the soap out.
I do have
God.
one more for you, and then I'll let you go. Obviously, the rumors are circulating. Not even a rumor; it's confirmed. Jared Bernhardt coming to the league. You just self-described yourself as a lax rat. So just take off the Cannons jersey for a second. Talk about us the overall league. How good is that Jared Bernhardt's
Yeah,
coming to the
no,
league?
it's awesome. It's good to have him back. We have the same representation. We actually have the same agent, so that's been cool. So
That's
I've been
huge.
talking to him about
That's
that.
awesome.
No, it's awesome. I think it's cool to see a guy that was so unbelievable come back to the sport. You know, did unbelievable things in NFL, CFL for a little bit. Now he's coming back.
Yeah.
It's going to be great for the sport. It's great for everyone.
And he's only a year older than you, so he can still be effective in this league. Do you
Absolutely.
think that we could see him, right away be a force, or do you think it might take a year?
I'm never going to underestimate him. I think he's such a freak athlete
Yeah.
that it'd be hard to say, like, oh, it's going to take him 3-4 weeks. Like, he could come out and score 4 goals in the first game, and we'd be like, oh. But if it does, like, yeah, it's normal. Like,
Yeah.
dude hasn't played lacrosse in 4 years.
Yeah.
And so, rumor has it he scored 6 goals in the Maryland alumni game last year. So we'll see.
Still got it.
See, that's
Lax rat.
Yeah, lax
Lax
rat.
rat.
Lax rat.
That just made the segment.
We need
just
to have
worth it.
this.
Like, we
If
just
you guys
got the
want
drip.
it, comment below. We need to make this happen.
Yeah, Dobber and Asher.
Well,
and
you
we'll
can't
throw
do-
Rambo in there too.
You can't do goalies, dude. They all they do is sit there and it's like balls,
Yeah,
sticks.
yeah.
true.
Maybe
I
a
would
couple
love to
different
see.
guys.
I'd love to see like you cursed. I think cursed.
Listen, if you sat at a lunch with me and Cursed and honestly, me and Cursed, you could literally learn 40 things and we wouldn't even know. Like, we'd just be talking.
It'd be regular.
Yeah, it'd be regular.
I like that.
Just Snapchatting each other.
Just like that. Asher.
Literally Snapchatting each other like, look at this head. Brand new head. We're like, you seen this head?
look at
you
this.
seen this unreleased head? He's like, I know.
Always had.
Or cleats. We're like, it's freaking eBaying cleats like a bunch of dorks.
Let's end with that, actually. Favorite cleats all time. I was having this debate today.
Oh, know what it is? I have the pair. Didn't wear them because they were in the rain. The Nike Vapor Carbons.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
The Vapor Carbons, but then also the ones that I have are the Vapor Pros right now with the red top. and the
Yeah,
white
those are
bottom.
sick.
They're dope.
Classic.
Okay,
They're
sorry, this is my last one since you're a lax rat. Dylan Malloy infamously wears the Warrior Burns. If you could bring back one cleat that you could wear all the time, would you have a classic that you'd want to wear?
Yeah, the Nike Vapor Carbon for sure. With the original,
I know
it's
exactly.
Nike. I know you're not
And the
listening.
sole, yeah.
But the original sole was so good. Every
Yes.
sole stinks now, and it makes me furious. That's why you have to get old
Yes.
cleats.
I know exactly what clip you're talking
like
about.
It makes us. It's okay.
Just made the segment worth it again.
Yeah.
Dylan Mullis
This
made
guy's
those.
unbelievable.
Those OG burns
Get him
like
a
the new
seat.
OG blade.
I know.
The Yoji burns.
How many
I don't.
do you
I
have?
think
How
it.
many
I
of those
think
do you
those things are literally like one cut away from just
Seems to
like
a Zion
exploding.
Williamson. Yeah.
Like they look like I'm like, dude, those look like they would hurt your feet. Like those things were. I wore those when I was literally in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God.
Those things have scored so many goals.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. I love that. Asher, appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Asher.
much.
Thanks,
Let's
Asher.
do it.
Appreciate
Asher, legend. He's going to be a mainstay. But before we move on to our pick'ems for next week, quick note on tonight's game. Hit us first.
I mean, for me, it's got to be Will Manny
Yes.
coming back. Got caught at the same place here last year from the Whips. Misses the whole year. Veteran. Talk about lax rat. He is a lax rat. Loves the sport. Comes back. Balled out tonight. You saw the emotion after the game. You got to feel for it.
And I'll kind of hit next. Interviewing a guy like that in what is his 13th, maybe 14th year, who got cut last year and is still going to come back and train and then get back here and be the talk of the town tonight, secure the W for the Cannons. He deserves all his flowers. Kev?
I'm going to go with Ryan Drenner. 4 goals, led the team tonight. Honestly, he can do it every different way. Love the way he plays. Role player, head down, does his job. I love Ryan Drenner.
Love it. Dukes, finish us off.
Can I please have 2?
Yeah, quick.
Jack 𝐓𝐇𝐄 coming back was
Yes.
just an awesome story. Twigging teed at the end of the game. He deserves a shout out no matter what
I
happens.
wish we could listen to that.
Oh my God, I'd do anything. But again, I will say, going off Will Manny helped his draft stock a lot tonight.
Yes.
I think by week 3, we're going to see him on the Chaos. I think that you're going to look. Coulter Mackesy had a long week, Princeton graduation.
Yeah.
To Warriton. I think Holman's been a vet in the league for a long
Yep.
time. He knows that he couldn't start Mackesy tonight or didn't want him to. Mackesy hasn't gotten a break in a long time from lacrosse. Give him the week off. Give him probably the only weekend off this summer.
Yep.
Comes back. He'll be in the starting lineup next week. Will Manny's now, what do you have, 3-4 goals tonight?
Yeah.
He's now going to be a valuable asset. The Chaos are a team that need an attackman. Will Manny seems like a
Yeah, I
fit
mean,
there.
this too sounds to me like kind of like a little bit of like the Entenmann and Timmy Troutner of last year, where Troutner started and was hot, playing his best ball, and then it's like, all right, we got to go to Liam. He's a rookie. Kind of the same thing here. I think Will's going to show off, and this is kind of it's going to take a lot for Coach Holman. They have that great relationship to kind of move on from him, but I think it's going to be a couple games in where this is kind of his Trout. He balls out, and then they move on from him. Mackesy's
I
slid
like that.
in.
Quick one before we go into pick'ems. Dukes, is there any way Holman keeps Manny and Coulter?
There's a
There's a way.
chance.
Okay.
There's a chance that you're not the host next week too.
There's a chance, bad things can happen to all of us.
Jesus Christ,
Let's
man.
hope not.
Let's go into pick'ems. Who we got next week?
All right, game 1, we got first game, 6 o'clock Friday night. It's going to be Carolina Chaos homecoming week down in Charlotte.
Charlotte's homecoming. We get the
First game
back-to-back.
is Outlaws versus Chaos.
Okay. Outlaws versus Chaos. I have the Chaos.
I got Chaos too.
Outlaws.
Dude, you're just gonna make me go after that. I can't even
Keep it going.
All right, I'll can I see what the kids pick? Why can't I
No.
wait till
Nope,
the kids
gotta
pick?
lock
Yes,
it in now.
5,
No,
4,
I don't.
3,
No, I'm
2.
not. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm playing by my own rules.
Dobber's coming back.
Outlaws.
Next.
I'm not locking that in, by the way. This is a soft lock. I hate putting it in a week early. I need to see what the kids do.
Okay. Next game.
Philly Water Dogs versus Maryland Whip Snakes, 8:30.
I got dogs.
Whip Snakes.
Whips.
I'm going to go Water Dogs.
Dogs.
Yeah. I like that. Next
Alright.
game.
What do we got? Ooh, this is a good one. Saturday, 1 o'clock on ABC. Cannons versus Archers.
Ooh.
Anyone see this coming?
The matchup.
Yeah, did anyone see this matchup coming?
I'm
Honestly,
gonna
I
say
didn't.
Cannons.
I got Cannons
I'm
too.
gonna say
I
Cannons.
got Cannons.
Archers.
Fuck, I think the Cannons too.
Okay.
Then we close them out. Chaos Redwoods.
I got the Woods.
Redwoods, baby.
Woods.
I'll take the Chaos.
Dukes.
That's going to wrap it up. The Mitchell Pehlke Lacrosse Show presented by Duke Cannon Dukes. Hit us with a fun fact to end us off.
It's been more than a year since Will Manny has played lacrosse.
Correct. See you guys next week.